All right, and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting week of Track Limits Racing, the finale. Those are words. Yep, finale of season number 2 for 2025. As always, nothing I say I put in this saves. I am fantastically joined by Phil and Logan. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Doing good, man.
Last time, a week ago, we went racing in the dark at Barber Motorsports Park. Now we're at a bit of a different one. Still, I think, a very similar vibe in terms of the driving style. Another technical track with a little less elevation than we saw at Barber. Are we big fans or big haters of Indianapolis, the road course specifically?
I like it. I think it's fun. It's a hell of a drive.
Yeah, same. I think it's a track that's pretty demanding. It's an unassuming track, and I think it requires a lot more focus than people give it credit for. It's one of those tracks, kind of like some of the British GT circuits where nobody knows their lines. Like they'll just everybody will approach the sector after turn one like in different ways and all sorts of stuff. But the thing that I like about that is people start getting creatives, and that's when you start getting some very interesting racing.
Speaking of, I think, getting creative, I think this is the proper time to introduce. We have a special guest with us here in the booth this evening, the man who has organized all of this nonsense. I say nonsense loosely. This fantastic racing and this beautiful community. Jaden, how are you doing this evening?
It's another day. Thanks for having me, guys. Long time no see.
Yeah, a long time no see on the broadcast. You invade the booth literally as soon as we turn off the mics every week. So we figured we'd drag you on. I
claim nothing.
So, with this final season or final race of the season coming up, we are looking forward to next season. And what exciting stuff can we talk about? I know I have a few things, but I'll let you kick it off for us.
Still in the early prep stages. We're still working on narrowing down exactly what we want to run for the track selection for next season. We have a pretty good handful of, I think we have it narrowed down to about 9 or 10 tracks, maybe up to about 12 or so, and then a little bit of external input from the broadcast team on one of their preferences and stuff like that. But I think at the moment we only have 3 of them set in stone so far for next season. So we're still in the early planning stages of that, and hopefully we'll have more information and announcements on that in the upcoming weeks.
Certainly. We'll float. We came up with the idea before the broadcast. We'll float you our idea afterwards and see how you feel. We have one serious and one silly idea. That's why I'm not gonna get your live reaction here. We'll cover it after the fact. But
I can tell you, Tsukuba and Alton Park are not going to happen.
It is neither of those.
Just no.
It's okay. We're still good then. I'm thrilled. Yeah. So
the only one there is one I will tease, and it's been a long time coming, that I have a numerous chat history from a wild Wookiee and a Gabe Chavez.
Oh,
really? A certain track finally making its TLR debut.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. So new track next season. That's good. With the tracks next season, are we going to see kind of again a balance between like pay for and free stuff, or what's the hope here? I mean, a lot of these people that we've got in the season right now, we're starting to get people that are established in iRacing, especially the people that have been with us since season 1. So I'm just kind of curious what kind of concentration you're looking at for next season.
Exactly. So normally when we had been doing the seasonal prep or whatnot, we throw in, say, like 1 or 2 reserve slots for free tracks. So that's when you get stuff like Okayama, Laguna, one of my guilty pleasures, Charlotte Roval, a little more crazy, a little more wild stuff. So I think next season, the current plan is we're going to run it like we did this season with Okayama, where if a free track happens to get selected, awesome. If not the end of the world, because we're going to try to instead use those slots to get a lot more use out of returning tracks. So stuff we have already previously raced in previous seasons that everyone already owns. That way, everyone can start finally getting a lot more usability out of some of the ones we've done, maybe a one-off so far, 2 or 3 seasons back. I know there's a few spicy ones that Gian in particular has mentioned a lot of interest of, hey, are we coming back to one of these anytime soon? I know there might be a particular track where Gian hit a tire stack on the opening lap that may be coming back. I know that one for sure.
Does it rhyme with Olmsted?
There is palm trees in the vicinity.
Okay. All right. All right. Good stuff. As far as the classifications and stuff, we're going to be running the same car classes next season, correct?
Very, very similar. So our only initial adjustment so far for next season, Gian, I see in the chat, thank you very much, is likely reverting back to single car qualifying, just to make it quick and easy. Shorten up our nights and how long the broadcast and everything has to be, but if we can shorten up, the qualifying a little bit, make it a little shorter night for everyone, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty reasonable, and also I think it's going to give people an opportunity to not have to deal with like traffic. So we might be seeing a lot faster lap times next season, which I think will be interesting.
Yeah,
a little bit more competitive. So that's good.
Yep. The only classes change by some popular demand is we are planning on bringing back the LMP3 AM class.
Hell yeah.
So we'll do some more working and finagling on how exactly we want to break it up, what we kind of want to set our margins for, but that way, some of the newer guys or say rookies to TLR, it's a lot easier of a transition period instead of getting thrown in and say racing against some of the super fast guys like Mike Bowen, Vincent, Scott, etc. So give them a little more of a championship fight to just themselves instead of trying to brute force them against everyone else. So
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
What else do we have? I'm trying to think. In terms of your championship standings this evening, are you worried at all, or are you looking forward to spending a good part of your evening driving on Indy's notorious road course?
I mean, I'm excited for it. Indy's been one I'd been trying to get on the schedule for a long time. It was one I finally just said screw it and brute forced it onto the schedule. Sorry, Gab, and the voting guys. Send your complaints to Retro. He'll advocate for Indy. So, it should be a good time. We'll see how it goes and everything. Still a decent sized field tonight. I know a lot of people were busy and out of town for Labor Day weekend, which is an unfortunate oversight, but it is what it is. So we'll go at it with the finale, have some pretty interesting point battle shootouts, and we'll go from there. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. I mean, it's pretty much the flipped scenario as it is from last season. Last season, going into the finale at Ohio, I was 9 points back from Scott in his rookie season as LMP3, and he ended up piecing it together, having a good night.
Fantastic.
Managed to work it out together and got his first title in the LMP3 last season. I mean, he had a small error at the end, and I managed to steal a race win, but so couldn't piece it together per se in the heat race and some other external issues and whatnot. So hopefully I can return the favor this season, get my second title on it, and work on going after Ethan in those record books finally.
Good stuff, man.
Absolutely. Anything else, either behind the scenes, driver side focus that we haven't covered you would love to talk more about before we let you get off to doing your qualifying and the rest of the final race of the season, Jaden?
No, nothing immediate that comes to mind. Obviously, everyone that's in the season that's been racing with us this season or hanging out in the Discord community or just watching the broadcast and everything. Thanks to everyone for coming in, hanging out, having a good time with us. Always, doors are always open to new members. Always love to have everyone. We always got spots. Retro, I'm gonna have to argue against you. I'm a GM guy, so those Corvettes, American Power. Next season Mustang GT4. Just saying. So we always got spots open. Always welcome to have new people join the community and just go out and have some fun.
Good stuff.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll let you go. Get off to your pre-race drivers meeting that we've kept you from, not intentionally, but we've kept you from. And we'll get on with our conversations about the beautiful qualifying session that is, I think, just about to get underway as we wrap up this interview. Thank you very much for your time, Jaden. And
Absolutely.
good luck out there.
Yeah, good luck out
Anytime.
there,
See you guys on the other side. Logan, I'll see you
murder
back on the
anyone.
track next season.
You know it.
So, have a good night, guys.
You
Me
as well.
too.
That is
Yeah.
Jaden, our fantastic admin, who usually does the drivers meetings. This time we sold him for the broadcast. But I think we're going to have to talk about him really quick, maybe in between races here, as well as in between qualifying, as we are about to get underway for GT4 Pro and AM qualifying. I'm going to open this up to driver's pick. Logan, what type of GT4 should we ride along with for a lap, and will you walk us through one?
Oh gosh, it's been a while since I've gone around this track, but let's get on a Porca
On a Porsche.
because Porsche's king.
Real quick though, before we jump
Yes.
into that,
Yes.
gotta give a shout out to I believe that is I think it's Biken 333 with the Prime subscription
Nice.
coming in hot. So
Biken.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll ride along with John Newman, who has once again found a way out of witness protection program to come race with us.
I was gonna ask, did anybody pay the protection money for this race so that he doesn't get murdered?
I'm
making
willing to invoice someone for it later when it becomes important.
Oh, it's Mr. Aiken.
Oh, it's
Or
Mr.
Aiken. Aiken.
Ben.
Yeah,
Ben Aiken. Ben Aiken.
I'm probably butchering your
There
last
is
name. As somebody
mine.
whose last name gets butchered in spelling, like I feel you, and I'm sorry.
right.
Aiken. Okay,
Logan.
cool. It's like the A is like really emphasized, right? Okay.
Ooh,
Anyway.
slowing down to 350, coming into 2. It's down to second gear through 1. Gentle in through 2. Wide open 3 through. Brake on 4. Damn, it has been a while.
Yeah.
Wide
Just
open through
like-
5 and 6.
Now this is really sketchy on the GT4s. Is that right? Or is it more stable than the GT3s?
Oh, I think it's sketchy. They don't have near as much downforce. They're gonna be
Okay.
sliding a
Right.
little bit more.
Slowing it down. Take 7 nicely. 8 and 9 is a tricky complex because you have to feather the throttle a little bit, and then hard brake into 10. Should be flat out 11, and probably the 150, 200 board for 300 for 12. Coming through the last complex. There's the pit road entrance, which is hard to find if you're not used to it. And flat out through start finish.
Fantastic.
I felt like an off track.
It felt like an off track. I wonder if they're going to actually register a time for him or
Yeah,
not.
it
But man,
does.
that was a very good track guide there, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wonderfully done. Much like the lap Ben set, or not Ben, sorry, John Newman. I've been looking at chat over here and reading Ben talk about how to say his last name of Aiken. Aiken.
Aiken. Aiken.
Ben
Anyway.
Aiken.
It's not Aiken though.
Yeah.
Not like all right, anyway.
Something about the interviewing tag. Oh, I see it. It's in the lower left
yeah.
corner.
It
I don't
is.
think I've ever seen that before. But
Well,
anyway.
I popped it open because we were interviewing with.
We were doing an interview.
Yeah, we were doing an
Okay.
interview. That's why it was up there,
Man,
and then I just hadn't pulled
I'm
it away
so smart.
because I hit the other buttons to do the qualifying, and it doesn't automatically remove it like I thought it would, because nothing ever does the thing I think it would do in iRacing STK. Anyway, Jake Hewitt currently on pole with a 130.49, half a second ahead of Tanner Schiffner in with that 131.08. So Porsche on pole, not the Porsche we rode with, but a different Porsche for the Porsche
In both
stands.
classes.
In both classes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's early times still being set for GT4, both GT4s, I should say. A total of, I believe, 12 drivers out for GT4. 6, I think, in each class, if I'm not mistaken,
And-
as well.
Yeah.
I've got 10 on my screen.
You've got 10.
Oh, wait. Missed one. Missed Jameson.
So 11.
Yes.
All right. So 11 GT4s. Not quite 12.
So that
last one.
is that is interesting to see Hewitt doing as well in GT4 Pro. I mean, he's coming off a pretty good race
Mhm.
Mhm.
around 7. Like I think he had the second highest points haul.
I believe so.
With a total of 43 points.
Oof.
So, yeah. Don't really have a good representation of his abilities for the entire season, but sitting at 144 points, sitting kind of in the middle of 14 of the overall standings. Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing him further up the order here in the next season.
Right.
It'd be my guess. Jay Hewitt not improving his time too much. Tyler Tourville getting that third purple sector in sector number 3. So I'm wondering if he'll be improving to pass Tanner Schiffner, who reset his own personal best last time by to 130.86, closing that gap between himself and Jake Hewitt. If you had to pick one class to be in this race, which would you be? Is going to be the question I ask both of y'all while we watch these last two cars get these laps in.
Mine's pretty telling. GT4 AM, because that's where I'm gonna be next season.
Yeah. I would also probably pick GT4 AM, and that's just because like I just love how that class, especially at the start of the season, we're not getting a good representation of the kind of like participation we get at the start
Yeah.
here at the end of the season, but having like upwards of like over 15 cars in the class with multi-class racing with 2 other categories on track, I mean, that just feels traffic management for the slower class cars is just an art.
Yeah.
Like being able to allow faster cars through and not lose time or try to minimize your time loss it's an art. And I don't know. I also like GT4 because the racing is closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
That's
The
very
cars
fair.
are more fun.
I'm going to be the odd
Cars
man
are a lot more fun.
out.
You gonna pick the LMP3?
I mean, I am going to pick the LMP3 because
Yeah.
out of the 3 options, I think that's the one I'd have the most fun in. Not that I don't love GT4s or GT3s, though I think GT3s are my least favorite just because out of a desire, like, just not my jam most of the time. I think like either more downforce or just make it a more approachable car with a GT4. Like GT3 sit in this weird realm for me of like they're really fast, but they're not like fast in a way that I enjoy.
Mhm.
So Jameson Leckenby though, getting the top of timing charts in GT4 AM by 200ths, I think, from John Newman. Both of them setting their fastest laps this most recent time by.
Yep. That's pretty close. Pretty
They're
close.
both-
And Christopher Blue currently 31.9.
Mhm.
And you know, we could take a moment while we're getting to the tail end of qualifying for GT4s, as I
Mhm.
believe we're starting to see some GT3s potentially lining up on the pits.
They're in pit lane, I think, waiting at the pit exit. Well, not a good shot here, or they're at least not in
Yeah,
their pit box.
They gotta wait. They gotta wait at the pit exit because
Yeah.
that if you're in, especially in the back of a class, like it is like
Right.
a really long haul to the line. So I mean, talking about points, real quick while we got a little bit of
Ooh, yeah.
time. Christopher Blue, I mean, he's currently what is he sitting at in the standings for GT4 AM right now? But
I believe it's
third?
231 points.
Oh no, I was talking about just in the timings. But
Oh.
yeah, I mean that is a good points haul for him right now, and I'm just kind of interested to see if anybody's going to be competitive enough to kind of like take the fight to him. But we'll
I
see.
would say it's going to be, I think, a little rough for Eduardo Zamora, who is, I think, the next one out. I see on both, not the next one I say out on track for GT4 AM in the points that I see tonight. William Lewis, I don't think, is with us tonight. One of the many that has taken the opportunity to go do real life human things on our holiday weekend here in the United States. Ridiculous that he's not racing, and is instead doing more responsible things with his time, such as being with his family. But yeah, I think with that gap there between himself and Christopher Blue, I think Christopher Blue just really has to finish solid. Consistent point finish.
Yeah.
Just come across the line. It still will net him some really good points, being there's only 12 drivers, which I think still gives him, even if he finishes last amongst these. Let me double check my points totals here.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Nope, none of these.
I mean, Christopher Blue just slotted in behind Don
Oh,
Newman and Eduardo Zamora in the overalls. So he is he did manage to sneak into third,
Mm-hmm.
and currently sitting, a little under 2/10 from Leckenby. So,
Oh, fantastic.
Right.
and qualifying has never been, in my opinion, qualifying has never been something that like Chris has always been kind of like towards the front end of it, but
Mhm.
I mean, he's not been like a consistent pole sitter, if memory serves me right. And Christopher Blue
Yeah.
can tell me how
Yeah, it's
wrong
not.
I am in Discord. Please, I enjoy being told how wrong I am in Discord. You should always take me up on that opportunity. But the thing that has always kind of like surprised me about Chris is his consistency in the race. He manages to produce results in heat races, which sets him up for feature races, and then just through pure consistency, he can just basically grind out good points hauls and good finishes, and that's the reason why he's sitting on top of GT4 AM with 175.
Absolutely. As we get into GT3 here, do we have, once again, a preference of car to ride along with this season?
Porsche. What?
I'm gonna. This is gonna disappoint Mr. Captain America in the Coral Cove 398 machine, but I'm gonna say let's get on board with his competition for tonight. Let's check in with Mr. Ethan Hamlet in the 46 Corvette.
Both on their first flyers. This will be a warm-up lap for these drivers. So when they come back around the start-finish stretch, Phil, do you want to take us through a GT3 lap? I'm not sure if you
Absolutely, sir. Could you pull up the track map on screen so people can see kind of like where he is relative to the
it'll show him when he gets
it's
a
broken.
time. Yep, it'll show him when he gets a time, because that's how qualifying works here in the world of IRSDK.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see him here join on momentarily. I'll have you. Let's get into this lovely, more viewable tank of a car and go for a lap in the GT3s.
Yeah, so
You just nailed the wall. Oh, nope. That is Tommy Kogan just hit the wall. Sorry, wrong Corvette.
Yeah. So lining up for turn one, I think maximizing the usage of the curbs in turns 2 and 3 And on the exit of 4 is going to be a big deal, especially for GT3, GT4 machines. LMP3s are going to be a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Lining up for 5, 6, and then on the approach down this straightaway to 7, he's going to try and just, try and maximize his corner speed on exit. Lining up good. Misses the curb. I don't know if that curb is unsettling for GT3s or not.
I think it is. It's pretty unsettling, I think, for most of the cars from what I've seen.
So again, he's pushing the car to the extremes of the track, trying to use as much of the road as possible. We're getting some actual tires touching grass, but people aren't invalidating. So that must mean there's at least a little bit of leeway there.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
So finish your thought. Finish the lap, and we'll talk about it.
Well, no. It's okay. So getting ready to come up onto the oval section now. Well, actually, he's finishing the lap out just now, so that's pretty good. So he comes across the line. Where did he line up in? 4th? No, excuse me, second with a 24.256, just behind Retro Coffin in the 398 machine.
Yeah, just behind Retro Coffin and Ben Eichen, who had a decent lap otherwise, seems to be setting another fastest lap. So I think it'll be a bit interesting either way. I have to agree that the curbing is very thin in a lot of the road course portions, so you'll see where the tires technically hit AstroTurf or grass, and they don't get an invalidation because it's still less than half the cars beyond the racing surface. Is why we see that so much for these cars. And if you really want to maximize the turning and how these really, I think it's, despite how it is, it's such a unique set of apex radii and corners that make it such a technical track despite its kind of simple layout.
I think people sleep on Indianapolis road course a little too much. It just creates so much. It just creates so much interesting racing, especially in the technical sections. But we're going to get to see, I believe, if I remember correctly, this one's going to be a 100-minute feature race.
I believe so. Let's double check that. Make sure.
Yeah. So that is going to be a full 2 hours of track time for the folks at home. But,
that's too long.
So yeah, we're not going the full mid-season special, but we are finishing out strong with a 100-minute feature race. Yeah, just getting a shot of the 55 machine now out on track. And does he have a time yet? There goes Tommy Kogan. Now he goes 26.3, so slots in right behind Kerry Nolan and in front of Austin Green to round out the GT3 field. Should we talk about GT3 points?
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to see the points without the drops. We'll also throw the points. I can give you guys the difference with the drops. Let's see here if I hit the buttons right to do the thing. Points. Current. GT3. So you see those timer tickers are going to continue down there as Adam J. Duff gets a purple second sector. Retro Coffin at the head of the points. 319 without the drops. With the drops, he is actually in second at 240 behind Ethan Hamlet, who sits at 253 like he is there, as his drop rounds are zeros that keep him at 253, if I remember correctly.
Right.
In the comparison between those two drop rounds get applied there. Tommy Kogan at 211 behind those with the points, drop points, 243 without them. And Kyle Potter only 5 points behind for Tommy Kogan. 10 points behind on paper in the full round without the drop points. So, still a lot to play for here for almost all of these drivers with the drop rounds applied.
And that's something that, to be honest, I'm really happy to see it, especially a first time running GT3, that we have had this much consistency in representation for these drivers, that we have points totals where there's going to be close fights pretty much all up and down the standings, and I think that's going to be pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, even with the drop rounds for some of the members in the rest of the top 10 there. Anthony Newman and Brandon Potts being separated by a single point, which I don't think either of them are here that I saw.
They are not.
Yeah. Which I think means with Austin Green, I think, and Gab Chavez also not here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out who
Austin Green is here.
Austin's here.
Yep. Okay, sweet. So Austin's I think, will maybe leapfrog both of those with a solid result and end up at least in 8th, potentially in 7th, depending on how Kerry Nolan Jr. does, alongside Bruno Clemente, which I think Bruno Clemente is
who is not here.
Yep. So be interesting to see where they all end up at the end of tonight. Tommy Kogan improving that time. This most recent time by to 124.77, about a second behind Ethan Hamlet, who's now set a 123.74 as his fastest lap. Kyle Potter 400ths behind with a 123.78, and then Retro Coffin 200ths behind him with a 123.79. Really one at 100th, 1.5 hundredths, not 2. And 2/10 behind is Ben Aiken with a 124.01. And these lap times, I think, are really interesting to see, but I'm also interested to see how much they're able to maintain these paces in the heat and feature races.
Have we talked how Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin, and Kyle Potter are 500ths off of each other in time?
Well,
they tightened up.
Yeah.
That new lap time really tightened it up. But the thing that I was about to say before that happened, Logan, was that it was interesting that pretty much almost up and down the order, it was about 2/10 between everybody. But then the last times just came in, and then that 500ths though, that's going to be pretty spicy in the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for third and AM. Yeah, the fights for a few of these podiums with the drop rounds applied are a little. They're
pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close. You know, Kyle Potter, Tommy Kogan, I think is one we're going to have to be watching tonight specifically. 6 points separate those in GT3, GT4. I was saying Nathaniel Redmond and Lee Wu might be one to keep an eye on, but I don't think either of them are here.
Yeah.
Lee Wu is not here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, sir, do you want to get somebody queued up through the mail slot and take us around Indianapolis in an LMP3?
Certainly can. Why don't we hop along board with my good friend and fellow teammate in Tabula Rasa, Vincent LaRue. We'll ride along with him as he gets set to go around the track, coming out of the final corner here. This is, I think, going to be one of the awkward spots for GT3s, GT4s, and LMP3s, is the way that all 4 of those get around, or so, 3 of those classes, technically, get around that final corner is going to be unique because they all get around different. Hard on the binders, around the 300 marker, just a little bit further ahead than the GT4s. Through turn number 1, really leveraging the downforce to keep that car planted. You don't brake as much as you do in the GT4, and just a little bit here to get that rotation. A little bit of and trail braking mostly, and then you're flat out through all this. This is going to be the easiest car to get through those turns 5 and 6. The rest of them, I think it's going to be pretty hairy. I think passing there will be, deadly for most of the classes if they try to do it in those 2 corners without lifting somewhere. Back out on the binders for turn number 7. I think I have that right. One of those 2. And into the 8-9 complex, not as unique or technical. Well, I mean, still technical, but you're not feathering and coasting as much. You're applying a little more throttle and leveraging the downforce like you do as you pop out of the oval for just a moment, come back in for the final couple corners. Going to be the most unique spot, I think, here is they take a little bit of a wider entry and really leverage the downforce to get that car rotated faster. And then they're hard on the curbing, all the way throttle to the start-finish line and back into turn number 1. A bit of a different lap, but no less, I think, interesting there. Vince LaRue, who
that's top of the list,
jumps up to the top of the timing tower with a 122.074. So a whole 1/10 and 9 thousandths ahead of Scott Fleming. 122.07. Another second and a half difference between the head of LMP3 and head of GT3. I'm curious how much that's going to change over the course of 100 minutes in the endurance format of our race tonight. These are always my favorite cars. I grew up. I drove these a lot when I started iRacing, so they're always my soft spot for classes, which is always interesting because most people don't like them. And I don't blame them, because they do turn into a washing machine as soon as you try to use traction control for anything.
They're fun-ish. I've done a couple laps at like Daytona.
Fun-ish is still like, there's the caveat there, and I think they're just fun. So, but I also don't blame people who don't like them. Like it's a very unique driving experience. You either, I think, love it or hate it, or like are okay with it.
Right. The hardest car on the service.
Definitely one of. I don't think it's the hardest. I think it's definitely one of the harder ones to really be fast at. But I think it also teaches you a lot of good fundamentals for LMP or like prototype driving in general that I think get overlooked by the people that don't drive it initially and then jump into the LMP2.
Yeah.
While we are getting close to the end here, boys, should we talk LMP3 points?
Yes.
Let's do it. LMP3 points. Once again, you'll have the full points totals for these drivers going into tonight, and then their drop round equivalents. Jaden Ledbetter sitting at 308 overall, 233 with the drop rounds, only 12 points ahead of Scott Fleming with the drop rounds applied, and I think only 10 points ahead without it. So plenty to play for there. I think with the number of LMP3s we have here, it's going to take a great finish from Scott and a not great finish from Jaden for the upset to be pulled off, but it's not impossible with the heat also giving points as well as the feature. Michael Bowen, Michael Lively, another pairing of drivers, 214 to 211 with those drop rounds applied for the other final step of the podium. I think that'll be a duel tonight that I think will sit where it is because I don't see either of them in our roster of LMP3 drivers. Mark Coyne, if he gets a great finish, he might leapfrog all of them for the third place. He is 198. Right. 214 is where Mark Bowen sits. I think if Mark gets a fantastic result here, very possible. What other battles in LMP3 have we missed?
I mean, I think that pretty much covers them.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone's on track.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch all the way to the end, and I do think that with qualifying where it stands right now, I mean, it looks like it could be pretty spicy. You got Vincent currently holding down pole position with a 21.6, and Jaden's not too far off. Gian Cardoso currently sitting fourth, getting the better of Nathaniel Baker, and Jack Wilkins sitting in sixth with a 22.7. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting seven in LMP3 or 8 because Benjamin O'Shea's been in the pits. He hasn't completed a lap yet, but
we saw him out in practice. Yeah, we saw him out in practice. I wonder if he's just having a moment there trying to get the cars put together, and if we'll see him in the heat and feature race as well. Vincent LaRue resetting the fastest lap, opening up that gap just a little bit to Jaden. The two of them have been, I think, swapping fastest laps pretty much the entire qualifying session. And I think we'll see that continue. Gian Cardoso, Jack Wilkins both improving their results as well. So that way Gian stays in fourth, just a few hundredths behind Scott Fleming and a few hundredths ahead of Jack Wilkins. And that's a spun Nathaniel Baker.
Baker, yeah.
He gets that car going again without too much trouble. Doesn't get in the way of Gian Cardoso, who's trying to get a lap in. Jack Wilkins.
Yes,
Mark Coyne is currently tied for what is last of seven of... tied for second to last. But what you got?
Yeah. Oh, so Benjamin, I think, is in chat right now. He's saying he's serving a penalty.
Oh, right. Okay.
But that, and then we've got, I believe that is PK Pastoril 4 asking if this is 24-hour iRacing. We will not be racing for 24 hours.
Oh, man, that'd be a lot.
That would be interesting, though.
That would broadcasting for 24 hours. I've tried to do that once before, and I wanted to spoon my eyes out. But
That's why you have
I made it.
shifts of people.
I made
that
it
broadcast.
17.
Wow.
Solo.
Jeez.
But anyway, so we will be racing so we'll have a 20-minute heat race to set us up for the feature, and then we will do 100 minutes for the feature for this race, PK Pastoril. So hopefully that'll be exciting. And yeah, we're getting close to the end of qualifying. Vincent's still on top, 200ths of a second, and then look at Gian Cardoso sitting in third.
Oh man,
3/10 off.
Yeah, 3/10 off, 200ths ahead of Scott Fleming. The two, I think we'll see those two battling it out for most of the racing tonight. I'm between those two, and then Vincent and Jaden in the front. I think it'll make for spicy battling. Then Mark Coyne, Nathaniel Baker, Jack Wilkins, all within a tenth of each other as well on the timing tower, is going to be fantastic.
We got 29 people in chat as we're getting down to as we're winding down qualifying. So thank you all for being a part of the show. Shout out to M. Patrico for the follow. And I believe it is Reese Alport as well. Gave us the follow while we were off the air. Mr. Aiken is going to catch us all at the end of the race. So thank you very much, sir. Good luck with the Audi. I hope you can keep the front end facing forward.
The right way.
Yeah. That is true for all these drivers. I think while Ben might have the hardest job, I think it is also important for all of them because that's how they will get the best finishes regardless of where they're at.
Yeah. The Audi is all-wheel drive, but usually not very well in all directions. So just keep that in mind.
We will have to see you at the finish line as well.
All right, gents.
Yes.
You guys have a good, safe race.
Absolutely.
All right.
GT3 is not all-wheel drive, but I like to have fun with the Audi drivers. I feel for them. It's going to be the if we end up using the GT3 configuration from IMSA, this is going to be the last season we can actually get an Audi in here.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
So that's going to be interesting. It is both the first and last season that we got an Audi in here.
It's the last race ever for Ben Aiken's car. Jalen Ledbetter at the last moment squeezing in a faster lap than Vincent LaRue for the start of the sprint race. Scott Fleming also improving his time over Gian Cardoso by a couple tenths, getting within that battle between Vincent and Jaden as well, all within a tenth of each other. So
that's a tight top three.
It certainly is. Nathaniel Baker out for his final qualifying attempt. Gets it done and dusted. Pumps himself up into fourth position with a 121.81. I wonder how consistent he will be over the course of the 20-minute heat as well as the 100-minute feature that we have coming up. Final thoughts.
Speaking of which.
Well,
yeah. So final thought for me is, so we got 100 minutes for the feature. We're on a track that most people don't get a lot of experience at. We're going to be doing 100 minutes. I'm really interested to see how stints work out. Because the thing is that people that can do the fuel save and can actually maybe eke out, like one less stop. Pit lane is so long and miserable to drive down.
That it is.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm curious to see how everyone plays out. All the drivers that are on here are really clean, really fast drivers. So I'm just curious to see how much action we're going to see that direction. But there's going to be good racing everywhere on the track, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I get the feeling that's going to be the case regardless of where we go on the track. Quick point of order, road race information for those that have it. There is 50% fuel limitations for LMP3 and GT3, 45% for those GT4s. So that when you're talking about that fuel, the stint duration and stuff like that, I think that's going to play a big factor in that feature race and whether or not they can get a fuel save done enough to eke out. Saving a whole pit stop would be, I think, big here because of how long it is and how slow it is. for the road
Yeah.
course.
Isn't it about like 30, 35 minutes for a tank of fuel? In those circumstances,
yes.
we're looking at, possibly, 2 stops.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 if people really muck it up, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
Hoping for a pile driving championship. Let's go, Tanner Schiffner. Let's go, indeed. Speaking of Tanner Schiffner, we're talking about the rest of the grid that has now been formed up. Jaden Ledbetter going to be alongside Vincent LaRue for row number 1, taking off the LMP3 category. Scott Fleming is going to be alongside Nathaniel Baker for row number 2. Gian Cardoso and Jack Wilkins are going to be row number 3. Mark Coyne will be alongside Benjamin O'Shea, though he is listed further down this order before we get to him. But he'll end up, I believe, at the tail end of the LMP3 pack alongside Mark Coyne for row number 4. Phil, GT3s. We have Ethan Hamlin.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the grid like?
Yeah, let's take a look. So Ethan Hamlet, he's going to be on top with the pole position in GT3. We've got Retro Coffin lined up alongside Kyle Potter with Ben Aiken alongside Sean Sullivan. Adam J. Duff, one of the Mustangs, is going to line up against the other Mustang, Kerry Nolan Jr. in the 44. We got Tommy Cogan and Austin Green rounding out our GT3 field.
Fantastic. And Logan, that GT4 Pro and Am field, how are they looking?
All right, we got Jake Hewitt on pole with Tanner Schiffner in second. Right next to him, Corey Lobner and Mike Gallant are on the next row. Tyler Torville and Henry Garcia are there. Jameson Leckenby and John Newman are on the next roll for the GT4 AM. Christopher Blue and Edward Zamora. And David Schneider is on the back end of that.
Awesome.
Stuff. Yeah.
So, a busy grid as always. They'll go for a full pace lap to help get these tires warmed up, especially for the GT3 category. Though next season we'll also see a little bit of tire warming for those GT4s. It's been in the dev notes that they're going to get that new tire model, which I think will really help them along with the rest of the updates they want to make those cars up to more modern standards. Most of those models feel very old by comparison to most everything else I race on iRacing at the moment, especially if you get into like the Porsche or the McLaren. Those are pretty old feeling in terms of both what they have, what they don't have, what they're accessible to. So I think it'll be a fantastic thing to see them be able to get updated and feel, at least, have the modern creature comforts they do in real life, if nothing else.
Right. They're also going to be tweaking with the ABS and TC and engine mapping on the GT4, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the Porsche will actually start to be more competitive now than what it has been. So, yay.
That's the goal, to bring them all back into feeling like they're all competitive regardless of where they are. Also making their suspensions more forgiving and more lifelike or realistic, I suppose I should say the word is, for the GT4 category as a whole, not just the two that really seem to be monsters at tanking those curbs. But...
sir, we might want to switch on over to the leader because it looks like we're about to round the last corner, I think.
I think
we're coming through 13 right now.
Yeah, they're coming out of the first kind of dip they have onto the oval into the final kind of a cute hairpin. Not really a hairpin, but it feels like it. And Jaden will be leading us off out of turn number, I believe it's 13.
14,
excuse me. We'll see here. He is...
Looks like he just darted.
Yep.
Oh, wow. He got a heck of a jump.
Yeah, Vincent caught napping on the launch. Both Scott and Gian Cardoso making it 3 wide between... Gian and Jack Wilkins making it 3 wide with Vincent LaRue. All 3 of them going to fold down into one. They get it done almost barely. Jack Wilkins has to back out to not get cut into by Vincent LaRue. But that's the LMP3s away. GT3s are also away without issue, 2x2 for the most part. Kyle Potter launching it and then going super wide off the edge there. Keeps it out of the tire barrier, but only just going to rejoin in front of the rest of the field, but he'll have to serve that slowdown penalty. GT4s are going to be getting away decently well as well. Jake Hewitt getting a great launch. Tyler Torville fighting with Henry Garcia and losing out there. They're going to have to zipper down pretty quickly here in order to get these cars going the right direction. Oh, Ethan Hamlet and Retro
Potter's
Coffin.
still working off his slowdown.
Yeah, losing a lot of places from there. He started out just behind those two at the start of the race. Working our way back up. Scott Fleming off track, then back on track. Same with Jaden Ledbetter. Vincent LaRue finding his way back into third after the jump there. Lap number 1 in the books. Everybody seems to be moving the right direction so far.
All still pretty close together.
Benjamin O'Shea.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty calm so far.
Oh, that's going to be a lockup from Jack Wilkins going into turn number 1. Puts him right in the crosshairs of Nathaniel Baker and Benjamin O'Shea. Nathaniel Baker is another driver caught napping at the start, one might say.
We got Michael around
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
in
see.
13.
Take a quick look at what happened here. Looks like he maybe got on the throttle too early.
Yeah.
Oh, he braked while turning and then gave it too much brake
Yeah.
that caused the rear to become unsettled.
That's a problem with that car here.
I would have to imagine. Sean Sullivan trying to take the fight to Adam J. Duff as well as Ben Eichen.
Ooh.
And
Jack Wilkins off track at 1.
yeah.
No, not 1.
Wow, man. Kyle Potter ending up at the back of the grid. Oh, that's a spin from Austin Green. Keeps it out of the tire barrier, thankfully.
Oh, nice job, Austin.
Great save there. Good heads-up awareness from him, as well as Kyle Potter to not cause more incident there. Jaden Ledbetter saying the fastest lap of the race, creating a gap of over a second to himself from
Oh, we got
Scott Fleming.
Adam J. Duff around.
Adam J. Duff finds himself also around on the final
And
corner.
out of 13. Out of 13.
All right, we'll take a look at that. See where he ended up. What happened here?
Another self spin.
Oh, yep, same one, but this time on the acceleration. Ooh, had a snap oversteer. Great heads-up driving from Sean Sullivan, Tommy Kogan, as well as Kerry Nolan. Pretty much everybody else behind him, and kept that car out of harm's way. Gets the catch up to the back of the pack. The injury is in the ego, thankfully, and not anything more.
It's definitely going to compromise maybe what they can hope for finishing out of the heat race, but the good news there is that this might be the time when they're just lock in, just try and put out some laps. Maybe you'll get lucky and somebody.
Benjamin O'Shea is around and collects.
Jack Wilkins.
Jack Wilkins.
Looks like. Yeah, you can see that. Car looks hurt.
And he's got to start a lap with that. Okay, so
Yeah.
it looks like he goes in, he's trying to go around.
Oh, catches the
Nathaniel.
grass.
Oh, he just catches the grass. Yeah, there's just nothing they could do
Oh.
at that point.
That's unfortunate.
Jack is just.
Along for that ride.
Yeah. But the thing is that having scrapes like this right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jaden.
That is Jaden.
That
He
is
goes
race
off.
leader.
Yeah, goes off track here, coming out of turn number 3 into turn 4. Just doesn't apply brakes soon enough. And then trying to keep it going the right way. We'll say him lose out on the lead. Scott Fleming currently taking it over as a result.
And see, this is what I was talking about people not focusing on the track like this, because this is one you could just kind of like zone out and forget like which chicane you're driving into. So yeah, but I'd say just focus down, start putting in some consistent lap times. Apparently people are making mistakes, so you might be able to gain a spot or two. And then just be thinking about your strategy in the feature race if you end up finishing in the position that you're in, to try and maximize what you can get out of your pit stops.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge thing for most of them. It's going to be how they can maximize their pit cycle as well as, where to make the overcut, the undercut. Oh, Kerry Nolan going for that over under after trying to serve a slowdown. Ends up backing out to allow Kyle through. It's one where I'm super curious how these small little incidents that seem to be popping up for our, championship leaders going into the heat race, how they recover from that, if they do, or, what have you. Jane Ledbetter had a, very solid lead at the beginning of this, finds himself sitting in fifth, or, will be fourth, excuse me. And I'm just curious where
in terms of the points, so in terms of the points, him sitting at with the drops, right? So with the drops, him sitting at 233 with Scott Fleming sitting at 221. It's not going to be a lot of damage because there's a 12-point buffer. He's not going to lose that many points finishing in fourth. But the thing of it is that we're dealing with a situation where he doesn't want to end up in a situation where his maximized effort falls within that 4-point or that 12-point window.
Yeah.
At the end. So it's like the good news is that I think him with what is it, 8 LMP3s on the field.
Yeah.
There's still good points on offer, but again, he just can't continue to cough up points to Scott. The battle's too close.
Yeah. And so he needs to find the pace he had in qualifying. He ended up on the pole there, but he's sitting 3 seconds behind Gian Cardoso and Vincent LaRue. And they're getting into traffic.
Yep.
Yeah, see, this is where it's going to get awkward.
Yeah. It's right on board with Scott Fleming. See how navigating traffic in this faster class is. Oh, that's a spin from Vincent LaRue. Oh, John Newman.
John Newman.
It will be collected there. Vincent LaRue also spun there. We saw it from the cam there. Let's see what happened to Vincent in the same time. He's trying to avoid. Yeah. Trying to avoid that incident. And then also, just gets tapped around by Scott Fleming. And then gets ramped off of by, I believe that was David Schneider.
Oh, man.
No, excuse me, not David Schneider. Michael Ant? Yeah, it's Michael Ant.
Yeah, that's Ant.
All right.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But again, this is the point where it's like, okay, so knuckle down. Like, just put it back together. You still have a feature race.
There's 11 minutes left in this race, so
yeah, there's 11 minutes. There's somehow 11 minutes left in this race, and we have seen this much action already. This is kind of wild. And the LMP3s are. They just seem like they are really struggling to get around the GT4s when they hit the braking zone.
Well, there's not a whole lot of room outside of the racing line for even the LMP3s who have the more downforce to really apply power in a way that gets them around the car fast enough to not where they end up either on the outside getting pushed into by a GT4 or them doing the pushing into the GT4 by, careful there, gets it done, gets out of the way of Christopher Blue. But it's one of those things where it's like there's not a whole lot of room, and not a whole lot of room without braking traction, because there's zero camber on any of the infield portions, and the camber that's on the oval is not used because you're going into and out of other corners.
Quick shout out in chat to iRenting for the follow. Thank you. I did not realize that we would have a visit from the very folks that provide us this great service that we rent. But anyway, yeah, no, the GT4 LMP3 like traffic management is going to be a tough thing. And the thing is that the LMP3s that are running into the situation where they're getting the bumps and bruises right now with the GT4s, I mean, thankfully they have a heat race to figure this out, because they're about to be in 100 minutes of this.
Oh, there's the look. Sorry, coming up with this battle between Nathaniel Baker and Mark Coyne. This is for the bottom step of the podium. They're going 2 wide throughout 7, 8, 9, and 10, it looks like. Mark Coyne finally picking that one back up again. before having to go back into the battle with traffic, which I think is how he ended up in that two-way fight with Nathaniel Baker. Vincent LaRue in the background just waiting for this to go wrong. Like it's gone wrong for, it seems like, everybody else. Yeah, you can see him there.
Secure that track position for the feature.
That as well.
And then one stop the race.
I mean, knowing Vincent LaRue, it's possible.
Vincent is taking some risks though right now. That line that he just filtered through with through the last corner with two LMP3s on the outside, and he took the inside line on a GT4.
Oh,
Jack
Wilkins
pushing.
just got in the back of Tyler Torgel.
Oh, that didn't get tracked at all. We'll have to go back and look at that if it gets registered. Yeah. Car seems to be okay. Tyler Turbo looks like he has a little bit of a bumper crinkle, but otherwise that car looks okay. Yeah, Jack Wilkins' front end looks okay as well. So hopefully it wasn't too serious.
Yeah, let's just take a look at the rest of the field right now. The closest we've got going right now in GT3 is if you take a look at either Ethan Hamlet or Sean Sullivan.
Yeah, I was looking at Ethan Hamlet retrocroft in this battle for the lead. Still raging on between these two drivers. That's a David Schneider off the track, off to the left of those guys. We'll take a look at that in a moment here. These two, I think, are going to be going at it all race. You know, I think it's going to take, you know, some luck in the pit cycle as well as traffic management. You see that flash from Ethan Hamlet as he lets John Newman know there is a GT3 behind him.
Oh, yes. And John Newman, I'm sorry, I forgot to pay your protection money in PayPal. Make it, John. Live.
Oh, Scott Fleming just locked up his brakes going into one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Retro Coffin trying to do anything to get Ethan Hamlet under Ethan Hamlet's skin. Ooh, there's a look from Retro Coffin for the lead. Oh, let's see if the over-under gets done. Retro Coffin holding on to it for the moment. Ooh.
This is some spicy racing.
Let's ride on board with Ethan now that that pass has been completed. Not there. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
See the commitment
They're
between these.
so close on pace. And is that a GT4 in the
That is
foreground?
Eduardo Zamora up ahead in that Aston Martin that you can see at the front there. Oh, Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin, go for the dive, ends up making those both run super wide as Eduardo goes, I don't really want to run into you. Ethan Hamlet choosing to just wait for that to resolve itself before trying to continue to fight with Retro Coffin. One thing you can notice there, it didn't happen thankfully, but I think it's something that we'll see probably a decent amount of. If you cut too much of the inside of turn number 9, I believe that is, you can, where that you have the gray concrete that's not really the curbing color, it's just gray. You can see it can count as a corner cut, and then you have to sort of slow down. We've seen a couple drivers have that get hit for them already.
Got John Newman and Sean Sullivan around.
Oh boy. All right. Real quick.
Who forgot to pay the protection money?
This wasn't an LMP3 this time, but this is a Sean Sullivan who just gets into the back of John Newman, and that's going to be both of them spun around, and points lost for them as they keep going. Thankfully, nobody else gets brought into that as John tries to rejoin the track, and he does so safely.
Wanted to give a quick shout out. We got this amazing battle in GT3 right now, but Gian Cardoso is currently in first place with a 2.3 second lead on Jaden Ledbetter.
That he does. With 5 minutes left remaining on the heat race.
Hang on, buddy. White knuckle that thing all the way home.
Vince LaRue, I think, also having another spin at some point, ends up just behind Scott Fleming. Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin still duking it out. Oh, Ethan looking for the opportunity there to do the classic pick and roll. Doesn't find it there. Keeps moving with him. Oh, man, those two are...
This is wild.
These guys are going hard.
Oh, Ethan's got him boxed in. Is this going to be...
Nope, they
Oh,
open
he
it
gives
up.
him space. He gives him space at the end.
Oh,
He gives him space. I was thinking he was setting up. He was setting him up for like a Silverstone cops maneuver with like Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. I was like, oh my goodness.
Thankfully not, but he was letting him know that he had the pace to get alongside him there on the front start finish stretch. And I think these two currently one of the closest fights on track for position.
Without a doubt. Next closest you'd have to go if you're going to take a look at like probably be like Corey Lobner, Henry Garcia, Jameson Leckenby. There's a three-way battle.
Yeah, that three-way battle might be a fun one to watch with those three drivers, Corey Lobner and Tyler Tourville, along with Henry Garcia. What does that look like? If we hop on board, let's hop on board with Tyler Tourville, see if we can see out the back on the roof cam, pointed backwards. Looking at Corey Lobner's Aston Martin, as well as another Mercedes of Henry Garcia in there, and then the GT3 traffic of Ben Eichen and Tommy Kogan, I believe, as well back there.
Correct.
Oh, man. Using all the track available to him to get through this GT3 traffic. Ben is holding steady in third. Just the consistency there, getting him everywhere he needs to be.
All three classes, one turn. Who's going to win?
Oh.
Careful.
Everyone survives. And
Tourville got a little bit of a gap off that. Garcia's coming up hot on Lobner.
Yep. But Kyle Potter's trying to find his way through in that GT3 Mercedes versus the GT4 Mercedes. Oh, that's out of place. You want to make that pass, but Kyle Potter seems to have gotten away with it unscathed. Henry Garcia, however, might have lost that gain of ground he had just gotten with Corey Lobner a moment ago as a result. These two still in a locked battle. Has not changed. 2/10 still riding between Ethan Hamlin and Retro Coffin. Ethan Hamlin, I think, now waiting and biding his time to find the right move for that late lunge down either into turn number one or say here might be possible. A couple other spots on the track. There's some great overtaking opportunities throughout this track floating around. I think turn 7 is another great one if you have the run out of turns 5 and 6.
Let's talk. We've got less than a minute 20 left in this heat race, and Jaden Ledbetter is 7/10 behind Ian Cardoso.
Yep, he is, but Gian Cardoso is still ahead.
Yep.
I think we're going to go on to white flag this next time by.
Yep. Gian's got to hang on for one more lap, and he would have his best starting position, I believe, for the season in a feature race, and a good dose of points to help out. And
you'll see that white flag being waved by Barney. If we take a quick look at the grid here. Oh, never mind. The grid doesn't show that. So
some GT4s are in the braking zone, and that's going to give Gian Cardoso a huge amount of breathing room.
Yep. Jaden getting caught out there, having to stick behind those GT4s for a moment longer.
And Ethan's actually starting to drop behind Retro a little bit. Last lap from Ethan was, what was it, a 23.92? And it was a 23.91 for Retro. So
falling away quickly, yes.
Yeah.
Very rapidly between those two cars.
It is pretty crazy out here on track, but GM looks like that GT4 traffic into turn 1 could not have come at a more opportune time for him. Yeah, he looks like he might be set to punch his ticket to the top spot for the
2 more corners.
Mark Coyne locking it up into 1.
He will be free. Oh. You see the flash there of the lights as he brings it across the finish. just ahead of Jaden Ledbetter. 4/10 separate those two drivers. Mark Coyne, after starting last, comes home third. Daniel Baker 1 second behind Jack Wilkins. In the GT4 category, we're going to see, I think, Tanner Schiffner come home for pile driving, which there has been some hype for Tanner in the chat this evening for his finish here to take home the GT4 Pro Trophy.
Your GT3 boy is about to come across the line. Retro Coffin's going to be in front, looks like.
Yep. Hold on to it there.
Oh, man, setting up for a heck of a final race.
Absolutely. Ben Eichen, 10 seconds behind, but holds on to P3, 7/10 ahead of Tommy Kogan, and a second ahead of Kyle Potter.
And might I say that Ben is of all the Audis in the field, he is doing the best this season.
Absolutely. I would say the consistency is getting him everywhere, and that's absolutely what matters.
Ooh, we got Adam Duff losing it coming out of 14.
Oh, Tanner Schiffner coming home second,
wall.
and Tyler Torville leading home Kari Lobner and Henry Garcia for GT4 Pro. Jameson Leckenby having a fantastic finish there ahead of Christopher Blue and Eduardo Zamora for that podium. So, heat finishes. Things setting up for, I would say, a rather interesting set of racing coming up. Gian Cardoso taking home that heat win, puts him on that podium. There's going to be a lot of work done for Scott Fleming to get back up to the head of the field alongside Jaden Ledbetter here in the feature race.
I mean, you say that, they got a race on this track for 100 minutes, and it was pretty spicy up and down the field. So we don't know how this is going to work out, folks.
Yeah, that gap is extended, as Jaden's saying, by 18 points between Jaden and Scott for the championship in LMP3. In GT3, I think that gap closes ever so slightly as Retro Coffin comes home ahead of Ethan Hamlet.
Yeah.
Sorry, 19
it's going to be
Jaden corrects himself.
It's going to be interesting for the finish here. Tommy Kogan coming in fourth also. Looks like he might get a little bit of a points advantage on Kyle Potter. And then Sean Sullivan, doing what he needed to do against Kerry Nolan, because the margins between them after the drop rounds was 4 points. All that there was between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping ahead. The title, according to Jaden, is locked up as a result, as Scott will only make 11 points even if Jaden comes in last.
Gotcha.
So we have one last championship to worry about, meaning that we won't talk about LMP3s for the rest of the night. We'll talk about more fun racing that matters. And I'm mostly joking. It'd still be interesting to see where everyone finishes at the end of this. GT4 Pro, I think, is going to be a fantastic one to keep an eye on. Tanner Schiffner, Tyler Torville, specifically Jake Hewitt, having a fantastic showing once again. The two of them, I think, extending that gap by, I believe, essentially a couple points.
Yeah. I think the other one
for those two.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So the thing that for the folks at home that don't know, so the way that the GT4s are scored, they are scored as a group. So GT4 Pro and AM are scored as a group. So with the fact that we have 12 entries, there is a potential for 11 entries. There is a potential for a pretty sizable point swing.
Yes.
So for Tanner Schiffner, Tyler Torville, it's not done and dusted. Same deal with Henry Garcia.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how they finish out, and the same also holds true for our GT4 AM competitors.
That it certainly does. GT4 AM, Jameson Leckenby getting that win there. versus Christopher Blue and Eduardo Zamora. Christopher Blue and Eduardo, again, that gap opens up by 2 more. But I believe that one's going to have to be a one that's going to be closed down. If you say Jemison also finishes well in the overall results, it's very possible that that order on the podium for championship switches.
Yeah, and the thing is, the very top end of GT4 AM and the back end of GT4 Pro have been kind of mixing together this whole season. So I would not be shocked if we have something drastic happen in GT4 AM in particular, because while there is 30 points between Christopher Blue and Jamison Leckenby after drop rounds, that's the gap to first to third. Eduardo Zamora is sitting in between him with 158. He's only 13 points up on Jamison Leckenby right now, who's been driving quite well.
Yeah.
Jumping that start a little bit, huh, Benjamin?
Well, he's getting back up to his group. After.
I know. I'm being facetious.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting ready for that 100-minute feature. It's going to be, I think, pretty spicy. I mean, with the stops, the long pit road, the fact that people forget which corner they're going into sometimes. It's going to be real interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's a very blinking Nathaniel Baker. I think it is. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see who does what for a pit strategy. I think that'll be a huge portion of what is required to make it to the end and get a solid finish. For those that are able to make it on 2, I think will be interesting to see, especially because Jaden says there's going to be 2 in a splash.
So 3 stops total.
Yeah. But if that is actually 2 or... Final predictions as we watch these cars come down the back stretch, as it were.
So 2 and a splash. So if 16 liters or 8 laps is like, can you fuel save 4 laps and do a fuel save in both stints? What would that do for your overall times? I don't think you could do a fuel save for 8 in one, but
no. 4
maybe that.
per?
I think 4 per would be the call, but and that would also be tough too, because you'd probably be looking more at like 5 per, because you'd want to have enough fuel for the bonus lap just in case.
I also don't think Jaden's fully accurate when he says a splash. That's 16 liters of splash. That's more like half a tank.
Right.
I mean, math's hard, so yeah. You're not wrong.
It's like a splash if you have a full tank, but these guys only have half a tank to begin with, so half of a half is a quarter, and that it sounds like 16 liters.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm just pointing it out, I guess.
No. And rightfully so. Plus, they're also doing a full formation lap.
It's true.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. As they say.
Speaking of interesting, Gian Cardoso is going to hold the trigger to get this race underway. Pit car finds its way, and pace car finds its way in. Gian Cardoso has the start in hand.
Hold him all the way to the line, Gian. You can do it.
Nope, he pulls away, coming out of the final corner, gets a great run on Jaden Ledbetter and the rest of the field. 3 wide for some of those drivers in the back. Wilkins, Scott Fleming, as well as, I believe that's Nathaniel Baker, running 3 wide. With Benjamin O'Shea and Vincent LaRue running 2 wide behind them. Mark Coyne kind of hanging out on his own on the inside. They get through turn number 1. Okay, they figure out how to get 3 into 1.
It's clean.
2x2 for back 4. Retro Coffin getting a great launch on the GT3s. Ben Aiken getting ahead of Ethan Hamlet into the braking zone turn number 1. Kyle Potter going to fight with Ethan Hamlet for that 3rd podium spot. Jake Hewitt going to hold off Tanner Schiffner for the head of GT4. The rest of the field's fanning out behind him onto that start-finish stretch and breaking into the braking zone 3 wide. Oh, gosh. Corey Lobner trying to keep
Kyle
that car
Potter's off.
going the right way. Kyle Potter is off up ahead.
5 and 6.
Oh, that is a missing front bumper.
That is unfortunate.
He
Not
is
sure what happened there.
Yeah, let's take a quick look, see what happened. I think he had a bit. Oh, that car got loose on that corner before 5, and then just makes friends with that wall.
It looked like it almost accelerated after the hop, right?
Well,
like
that was. Yes, and it makes sense that because like if you look at the way that car should be moving, you should be accelerating through this entire corner because it's flat out through 5 and 6. So that hop is just curbing wrong. Cold tires is going to catch those cars out every time.
Leckenby's around.
Yeah, speaking of cars getting caught out, Leckenby has been labeled as crashed. Let's find out what happened here. This is going to be into turn number 7 after the back stretch. Flowing in alongside Mike Gallant, and Mike Gallant just space doesn't get left, or a car drives into that corner, and that car gets spun around.
And that has GT4 AM implications.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the top of the field, Gian Cardoso, Jaden Ledbetter, Mark Coyne, all within a second of each other. A fantastic start from Gian Cardoso keeps him in first. A second behind them is going to be Nathaniel Baker and the rest of the field, all under a blanket, as some people say, behind them. Ethan Hamlet, Ben Eichen, getting themselves sorted. Ethan finding his way around again.
The opening lap, like Ben Aiken getting the move done on Ethan, that was cheeky. That was a cheeky move.
It was a
I don't
great
think Ethan
launch.
appreciated it. But,
I don't think so either.
At the same time, I mean, he's back in it, so Ethan's going to have to open up the tap if he's going to try and take it to retro.
Yep, 8 tenths between Ethan and retro after that. Sean Sullivan, Kerry Nolan, and Tommy Kogan all within a few tenths of each other. Slow down a penalty, I believe, for Kerry Nolan, slowly being bled off there as he goes. Mike Gallant and Eduardo Zamora within a couple tenths of each other. This is not for position, but for overall GT4 points. As Kyle Potter bails in to get that front end put back together.
He is actually black flagged right now.
Oh, he's black flagged. Wonderful.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's
probably going to be a pit entry.
Speeding in pit entry or an unsafe pit entry.
This is before he even entered the pit.
Oh, interesting. Well,
that looks fast.
That does look fast. He brakes again after it. I wonder if he got it for speed. We'll see. We'll see what happens when he hits his box. How long he spends in that box will be a big determining factor. Nathaniel Baker and Benjamin O'Shea, 2 wide going into turn number 12 and 13. Nathaniel Baker holding on to that position for the moment. Vincent LaRue sliding his way around. Nathaniel Baker for 6th, working his way back up the order from his starting point after an unsuccessful finish in the heat race.
Kyle Potter is still in his box with 30 seconds in there right now.
That definitely seems like a speeding on pit lane violation, because that'll be 40 seconds in the box regardless.
Yeah. He does have a fast repair, but
he's still there 45 seconds.
That's going to be rough. Oh, there he goes.
He's away.
That's probably maybe a fuel stop.
It's definitely...
No tires?
No, I don't see him go. Jack, I don't even know if he got fuel. Or probably, sorry, fuel only. No tires, because he did not get on the jacks at all after the penalty was served. Or before the penalty was served, I should say.
Gian Cardoso holding 7 tenths on Jaden Ledbetter right now. Gian is trying to hold the lead of this race. Man, look, the thing that is interesting right now about LMP3 is it's almost all yellow.
Yeah. Everybody is almost within a second of each other, the exception being the distance between Mark Coyne and Jack Wilkins.
It is very, very tight field right now. Also in GT4 right now, Corey Lobner, like he's trying to stay out in front of, I believe that is Christopher Or no, he's chasing down Orville right now.
Yeah, trying to chase down Torville, stay ahead of Christopher Blue. You were correct there by about 3 seconds between those groups of cars. Also keeping Christopher Blue in between himself and Henrik Garcia, which I think is a fantastic move there for the GT4 Pro finish points. So trying to build up as much of a gap there as he can in that number 41. Tyler Tourville a whole second behind Tanner Schiffner, who is just up the road. And a second between him and Jake Hewitt, who is leading off GT4. Jake, I think, is really liking this Porsche at Indianapolis by a hefty margin.
I mean, he is putting together quite a resume here at the end of season 2. Really looking forward to seeing him in a full season to kind of see what kind of performance he's got.
Ooh, there's a look from Ethan. Oh, my gosh. Lay it on the brakes for Ethan. But he gets that done. Oh.
So Ethan now gonna try and open taps. Retro gonna try and hang on to his backside.
Yeah.
Not let him get too far down the road. Only thing really separating these two at Barber Motorsport Park, if I remember correctly, was a liter of fuel.
Yeah.
So Retro gonna look to strike back here at Indianapolis. His home race, by the way. This is where Captain America calls home. This Mullet himself running the questionable double diffuser with the mullet, but he's gonna try and take the fight back to Ethan. But Ethan right now seems to be streaking away.
Yeah, for the moment, I wonder if there was a bit of a off there or a slowdown that Retro Crawford had to serve. Oh, that I saw a couple float around there. Scott Fleming ending up behind Vincent LaRue. He's working his way back up the order. Jaden Ledbetter, Gian Cardoso now within 0.6 as they get into traffic. I think this will be an interesting one that'll either make or break the lead that Gian has. Oh, Jaden goes to the inside. Still has to slow down to not hit Eduardo Zamora, which is going to give Gian a little more breathing room as he tries to get through this traffic. He's going to go around the outside is the goal. Jaden has caught right up to him, though, as a result.
Jaden, super brave. He caught a lot of the grass on corner exit. If he didn't get hit with a slowdown, he's lucky he didn't spin.
Yeah.
Right.
You see Mark Coyne also pop out there. Jaden's looking for that inside line, but lets Gian take the line, does not force the issue there.
And in GT4 AM, this is starting to compress the battle between Christopher Blue and Henry Garcia.
Well, Henry Garcia's in
GT4 he's in pro.
Yeah, but they're going too wide through 5 and 6. And that's a very wide Scott Fleming, as Eduardo Zamora has to abandon his own line, puts on the flasher saying he's not super happy with how that panned out. That's Vincent LaRue lunging up the inside of Mike Gallant. Oh my goodness!
So that caught Henry Garcia out in a bad way. That was a huge slowdown. He just had to serve.
Yeah. Retro Coffin 0.6 behind Ethan Hamlet. Ben Eichen leading off kind of the rest of GT3. 4 cars from Ben Eichen back to Kerry Nolan. This one. There we go.
The fastest man in the Audi R8 is putting on a show for everybody in GT3 right now.
And everybody else, I think, is just trying to keep up. Jake Hewitt keeps getting faster up at the front of GT4 Pro, a whole 3 seconds ahead of Tanner Schiffner. Tyler Tourville, half a second ahead of Corey Lobner at this point. Biggest thing separating both of them is going to be 2 LMP3s. And 2 more LMP3s looking to get in between. And Scott Fleming's trying to find his way around Corey Lobner at the moment. Oh,
Oof,
Corey
that was
Lobner.
A muscle out of the way.
Yeah, well, he was trying to, I think, play it safe and did so responsibly. Sean Sullivan bleeding off a slow down. It's going to see him be right ahead of Kerry Nolan into the braking zone of turn number 1. As Kerry Nolan looks on the inside, has the late lunge and the late look. They go too wide through 1. Sean now has the inside in turn number 2, keeps it in there. Okay. They managed to do so. Kerry Nolan ends up back behind I think it's by design at the moment.
Some of these LMP3s are taking a lot of chances really early.
Yeah. Well, some of them, it's more about moving back. Nathaniel Baker getting on the outside of Tanner Schiffner, making that fight between Tanner Schiffner and Tyler Torville back down to a second. Oh, man, a second and a half between Ethan Hamlet and Retro Coffin. I wonder if Retro Coffin caught a slowdown or traffic that kept him from really diving in. Let's take a look at the track map and see how busy this track has become. With all these cars spread out throughout most of the road courses available racetrack space.
Yeah, which is crazy because, I mean, we have 27 cars on track right now. So the fact that traffic is kind of distributed quite like that is very interesting.
Absolutely. I think it'll continue to be interesting the further along we go. Retro Coffin. I wonder if Retro Coffin is trying to make the 2-stop happen, which is why he's so slow. Or so much slower, I should say, than Ethan.
It could be a move he's trying to pull off. I mean, especially when dealing with traffic management, because if you're on the fuel save strategy, it could produce some pretty interesting results, especially when you're trying to catch GT4 traffic going into a braking zone. You know, you lift and coast into the corner, give them a little bit of space, try and maximize your line and your exit speed on corner exit. Could provide some pretty interesting opportunities. Vincent LaRue just set the fastest lap.
Oh, man.
LMP3.
Yeah, he's trying to catch back up to Jack Wilkins.
121.8.
Oh, man. That is rapid.
He's cooking.
Yep. Under a second now between him and Jack Wilkins. You can see them two there. Trying to find his way back up the order. We are 13 minutes in of our hour and 40 feature race here. 100 minutes. With the action cooling off for at least just a second, what's the mindset we dive into as we get past the initial opening minutes and how they're going to manage for the next hour and 20 or so they have left, and all the planning that goes into that?
I mean, I don't know. It right now. It seems like everybody's willing to beat each other down, especially when they get into to passing or being passed by other categories. But to be honest, right now, I'd be thinking mostly about kind of like what lap times I need to be hitting. What is my what lap I'm coming in? What number am I trying to hit? And then, just really maximizing not making a mistake when it comes to your pit stops, because with pit lane being this long, with penalties potentially being a deciding factor for some of us, we don't want to make a mistake here.
We have Mike Gallant in 15 minutes into the race. He's in the pits.
So he might be doing the reverse. He might be doing the half fuel stop now, and then trying to do the 2 at the end.
Yeah.
But we'll see, especially because I wonder how many people are going to pull the trigger early, especially on a fuel and no tire stop. Because that's another thing too. I think tire degradation is going to be interesting, especially if people are trying to extend. And Sean Sullivan almost turned into a skateboard going over that curb.
He definitely popped an ollie or a 50-50 grind on that curb, and I'm super excited to see that he didn't lose control of that car as he went over it.
Yeah, that was brave. But
absolutely.
Yeah, the pit strategy I think is going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be about consistency. I think that's going to be a huge deciding factor, because if you lose, losing 5 seconds, anywhere up to 5 seconds in a pit for like missing your box or anything like that's one thing. Completely goofing up the pit entry when the pit's this long.
Yeah.
That's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than that. Retro's now 3.1 seconds back.
Yeah.
He's got to be going for the 2-stop. He has to be doing
imagine.
that. He has to be doing that. Looking at his lap times, his last lap it's actually really not that far off. It's a 24.4.
Yeah.
His best is a 24.3. But Ethan Hamlet's best is a 23.8. Ethan's
Yeah.
also putting in 24.6 last lap for Ethan. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting. I'm interested to see how this battle between Tanner Schiffner and Tyler Torville develops more as we get more GT3 traffic working their way through these two. I think a big portion of how they ended up within a second of each other involves that, as well as some fantastic driving from Tyler Torville to keep that gap close even after the traffic has gone by in the favor of him. Good placement of that car there from Ben to keep that car going the right direction without having too much impact on Tanner's time.
Yeah, the give and take of multi-class racing, especially on a track like Indianapolis, it's important. You definitely want to maximize, or you definitely want to minimize your losses when you're dealing with traffic.
Right.
Sometimes that puts you in a position where you've got to be patient. And we've seen in the heat race that patience is certainly a virtue, and being in a hurry to get things done resulted in a lot of people kind of being out of place here in the feature race.
Absolutely. What's interesting to me is I'm watching the groups of cars in LMP3 fold back in. They got real spread out over the getting their first lap through traffic. And Mark Coyne and Vince LaRue now swapping places almost looks like. I
think Mark's got to slow down. He has to. He
did.
He fell off.
Yeah. But he's trying to keep that gap, or Vincent, sorry, is trying to keep that gap to Jack Wilkins up to, in a second. Two of them setting almost identical lap times. These two drivers, pretty rapid. Up the field, about a few tenths faster on their fastest laps than either Jaden or Gian Cardoso at the moment. Still a second gap between those two cars up at the front. But the gap between Jack Wilkins and Jaden Ledbetter, I think, is starting to close.
I'm just looking right now to see if anybody's kind of like sticking out for me in the LMP3s right now. Not really. I mean, everybody seems to be running about the same lap times with the exception of Mark Coyne, who's probably trying to find a way to no stop this race. He's probably doing that math, crunching that math right now.
Yeah.
If anybody was going to try it, was going to be Mark. But that's pretty interesting. In GT4, the lap times, the crazy part is the lap times are pretty consistent up and down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the exception of Jake Hewitt right now, who's currently
blasting off.
He's time traveling at this point. Jake Ledbetter sets the fastest lap with a 21.54.
Ooh.
Currently, Jake Hewitt is half a second quicker than Tanner Schiffner.
Yeah.
Man. We can tell with that 4-second gap between Jake Hewitt and, now Kyle Potter, but will be a 5-second gap, I believe, between Jake Hewitt and Tanner Schiffner by the end of this lap. And once Kyle gets cycled back through traffic after having served his penalty. Jack Wilkins, has to brake to avoid running into Jason Leckenby and John Newman, which is going to bring Vincent LaRue right into the battle there. Two of them trying to work their way through traffic. dive into pit lane for Mark Coyne early on.
So I wonder if Mark was trying to hit a number 2. So he's in. I'm going to watch and see what we're looking at in terms of pit lane stoppage. To give you an understanding of what we're talking about when we talk about how long this pit lane is.
Yeah.
Mike Gallant was in for a fuel stop that lasted about 16 seconds. The full pit lane travel time was over 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
We have Jason Leckenby getting loose in 4 and almost getting collected by Benjamin O'Shea.
I also see David Schneider having a moment here. I think he got on to power a little too early. Somewhere on this. Oh, braked into the grass.
Oh.
You'll see that car slide. Stops. Stays out of the way. Waits for his opportunity. Sees a moment here to get that car going the right direction to not run into anyone. And gets it going once again. Yeah,
right,
16 seconds. Oh, we're back into this fight between these two drivers for Mark Coyne as well, which ends up being a 1 minute lap time. Pit lane travel time, excuse me.
Yeah, 1 minute, 6 seconds. Now, here's the thing about the early stop for LMP3s that, I don't know what Mark's ultimate strategy is, but he has inserted himself into the GT3 field, and he is as far back as Sean Sullivan.
Oh, my goodness.
In the GT3 field right now. So he's got to pass Sullivan, Kogan, Aiken, Coffin, and Hamlet to get back to the back of the field where Benjamin O'Shea is. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Mark Coyne handles this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a unique one for sure. Oh, Jack Wilkins trying to get around Christopher Blue. Both him and Vincent LaRue do without too much issue. Yeah, I'm super curious how that impacts Mark Coyne going forward, and when the rest of the field comes in for LMP3, how he cycles back in with them. Though he'll end up being a little bit off cycle as a result, because we'll see him once again pit early, probably around the 1 hour mark is going to be my guess at the moment.
Right.
Based on the fuel times that have been projected.
I'm how he handles the GT3 traffic now that he's back on track after his first pit stop. This is going to be critical for any of the early stoppers. How you handle the traffic after going early is going to be critical. Like, you cannot take a foolish risk. Got to try and figure out how to minimize your lap time loss.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most important thing.
Benjamin O'Shea also in.
John Newman in as well.
Ooh, yeah. Jalen Ledbetter. Oh, gosh. Jalen Ledbetter getting out, stuck up between Tanner Schiffner and Tyler Torville. Those two ending up in paddle 4 position, losing a lot of time to Jack Wilkins and Vincent LaRue behind.
Ooh.
As that's an Adam
That's
J.
probably a slowdown.
Yeah. That's going to be a push of Tyler Schiffner by Vincent LaRue trying to get through all of this. And he keeps.
I do not know how they managed to be going the same direction after that.
They hold on for the moment.
The stakes for this are just so high right now. I mean, Tanner Schiffner, Tyler Torville are going at it right now. They are separated after drop rounds by 6 points.
Oof. Every point counts for them right now.
Absolutely. So when you got an LMP3 that's getting a little too spicy, I can feel their blood pressure go up.
Right.
It is less than 3/10 as they get ready to go into the braking zone at turn 1. A little puff of smoke there. Might have been a bit of a lockup.
These two still holding on. I want to take a look, if I can, from Tyler Torville to see if there's much damage on the rear end of
Vincent LaRue, I think, just went super off track. It's not a slowdown.
I don't see anything on that rear end I think both Tanner and Vincent really lucked out on that one based on what I'm seeing from Torville's rear camera here. At least it's not showing on our end. Ben Aiken. Oh, my coin going to swap places for overall positions because they are still, as well as Benjamin O'Shea and Sean Sullivan. Vincent LaRue, as well as Jack Wilkins, still in the battle for position. Gap extended back to 3 seconds as they've gotten into and out of traffic.
So 26 minutes have elapsed so far in our 100-minute feature race. I mean, we've got how close was that?
Pretty close, but it looks like they survived.
Yeah. That was mildly terrifying.
Those two are going hard, LaRue and Wilkins.
Yeah.
Well, they are trying to make it spicy for us here at the end of the series finale at Indianapolis.
Yeah. Two of them keeping up with each other, trying to keep themselves moving forward towards Jaden Lebeter and Gian Cardoso. Those two sitting 2 seconds behind or away from each other. Jaden's still trailing Gian for the moment.
I think Retro had to have hit some sort of magic number because he just set the fastest GT3 time with a 23.6.
Yeah, I think he found both his rhythm as well as he's hit the number he was looking for to either two-stop it or who knows what have you.
Yeah, see, the thing is that even though we were talking about like people doing fuel save strategies to try and necessarily get maybe that onto that two-stop strategy when it might not be possible. I mean, 16 liters for the LMP3s is a lot. But the thing is, though, is that even like a modest amount of fuel save, if you can hold good pace around here, that's less time that you have to spend putting fuel into the car. So we got Torville and Hewitt in. And also there's that Garcia as well.
Yep. Hewitt, Tourville, Garcia in from GT4 Pro to kick off what I believe is going to be scheduled stops for the GT4 category. We'll probably see Tanner Schiffner, Corey Lobner, as well as the rest of GT4 AM come in next lap. I believe they have enough to keep going the right direction as these two are still fighting each other for position. A few tenths separating each of them. Mike Gallant in the braking zone. Gonna have to contend with a Vincent LaRue that has gone up the inside to keep up this fight. Oh, and he's going to dive into pit lane? I think that looked planned.
Gian Cardoso is also in.
Yep, sorry. Gian Cardoso is also diving in. So we'll see where they come out at the end of their pit cycles.
Ooh, Vincent LaRue has a black flag.
Yeah, it missed his pit box, or missed the pit limiter, hit the flash instead.
That's rough.
So Jake Hewitt's going to cycle out behind Jamison Leckenby.
Ooh, okay.
After the pit stop. So Jamison has yet to pit, so he'll clear him when Jamison takes his pit stop. But we've got Jake Hewitt on the jacks for 26.8 seconds for
interesting.
What could be a fuel, maybe also tires. The fastest of the bunch on this pit cycle, at least, would be probably Henry Garcia with 24.07.
Yeah,
Mike Gallant had a 15.6, but that was also 9 laps ago. Never mind.
Yeah. That was the early partial stoppers.
Yeah, early partial stoppers. But the thing that's going to be interesting about all this, we've got the whole LMP3 field basically not about to pull the trigger. Retro Coffin and Ethan Hamlet are both in. Retro looks like he got the position before the pits, or at least his pit box is before.
His pit box is before because of where he finished in the heat.
Gotcha.
Based on the time on the jacks, Ethan pulled into his box first by a couple seconds. Vincent LaRue finally cycling out just ahead of the GT3 field. And I mean only just Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin, both off the jacks and out on the way, ever so slightly behind him.
Man, this is absolute banana bread. Pit stop time for Ethan Hamlet 21.93. Pit stop time for Retro Coffin 22.13. 2/10.
2/10. All that separates those. Looking at the LMP3 field, both Jaden and Nathaniel Baker are on jacks. Jack Wilkins, Scott Fleming are not. They end up cycling out just behind Jaden, all of which cycle out behind Gian Cardoso. So
man,
great Mark Coyne. Jaden is going to be fighting Mark Coyne into turn number 2. Mark Coyne, I think, is going to let them by. He looks like he's not trying to fight that too hard.
Same deal with Jack Wilkins, it looks like.
Yeah. Also trying to let Scott Fleming by, I think. It seems like he's running a little wide.
Daniel Baker is on a black flag.
Oh, black flag. I wonder if it was speeding on pit exit. Or an unsafe pit exit. I'll have to look.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. Like, I don't know what has happened here. Christopher Blue was in pit lane. He's on the jacks for 37.8 seconds. So that has to be a tire stop. He's going to cycle out. He might get out on track before John Newman. I'm looking right now. Like, his pit lane. That is such a...
Christopher Blue are going to drag race away from the pit lane to turn number 1.
Okay, Christopher Blue cycles out just ahead of Jamison Leckenby.
Yeah, but behind Eduardo Zamora, which is an important piece of note there.
So, real quick, just wanted to talk more about some of the pit stop nonsense, right? So, Gian Cardoso comes out in the lead of the race, currently 3.4 seconds ahead of Jaden Ledbetter, right?
Yes.
Pit lane, pit box time, 21.93 Gian Cardoso. Would you hazard a guess at what Jaden's time was?
Somewhere in the 22s?
It was a 24.67.
Whoa. Interesting.
So when you look at that number 3 that's sitting in front of his time behind right now, if you want to know where that 3 came from, it came from the amount of time he was sitting in the pit box instead. So again, pit stops, pit strategy. This is going to make or break this race. For some
that's
people.
a spin from Nathaniel Baker. Yep, that is absolutely correct. Okay. Yeah, pit strategy is making or breaking this race, including the drivers that have had to serve pit lane penalties for speeding on pit lane, which I believe is what happened there. And Nathaniel Baker spinning on the exit of pit lane, trying to get back into the race, ends up behind Ethan Hamlet, and it comes between him and Retro Coffin. Retro Coffin looking to make the move. Theoretically, this car is faster, but that lockup for then is going to send Retro through as well. And I think Nathaniel is going to have to recenter himself. I know we've talked about it in other weeks. I always love coming back to it because it's a great conversation to have for people who follow along at home and love having little tidbits of information. What is the method you go through to get your head back into the kind of like the flow operating window, whatever you want to call it, for when you're in a race and you have a spin or something like that?
I mean, the biggest thing, and this is, to be perfectly honest, I think this statement is true in any kind of like competition, right? When you make a mistake, you very much want to. The natural instinct is to try and make up for what happened.
Sorry. Yes, continue.
The natural instinct is I'm going to try and make up for what just happened. I think the more pragmatic approach is don't do that, Like, don't try to make up for the mistake you just made, because in the process of trying harder, you very well may end up making even more mistakes and creating mounting losses. So the biggest thing is that if you make a mistake, it's done. Just let it go. Everything you do from here on out is a clean slate, because there's nothing you can do about what's already happened. That's my mode of thinking.
Fantastic. It's a great one. I think it's a fantastic piece there to keep in mind. 'Cause I think it also is very grounding. Like, it's, mistakes happen.
Ooh, we got Gian Cardoso around.
Human, I say, as I watch those two slide, and then Gian Cardoso labeled as around, which gives Jaden Ledbetter the lead. Curious what happened there. Oh, looks like he might have gotten into it with Henry Garcia. Let's find out if that is the case. He gives plenty of... Oh, does not.
Curb.
Yeah, curb catches him out.
I think he might have also gotten a bit of a door.
Oh,
bang
now
there.
Henry Garcia's around.
Yeah, I want to see if it was the two of them involved, or if it was... Oh, no, he did not. Yeah, he just got into the corner there because Henry Garcia did not leave him room.
Well, I think the thing is that I think I mean, I'm not a steward. I'm not going to weigh in on whose fault it was there. The one thing that I will call out there is I just don't think that Gian realized how fast he was going to get to the corner before Henry was going to get there.
Yeah.
And Henry it was just basically like a signal crossing between the two of them. Neither one of them understood how fast the other car was going to get there.
Certainly, that is absolutely, I think, how that ended up being what the incident that ended up following there. Oh man, it's a busy track out there right now. GT3s, GT4s, and LMP3s all trying to get through the same 4 sets of corners. 4 LMP3s now trying to get around a GT3 and GT4 as the GT3 tries to pass the GT4. 3 wide. Oh my goodness.
The biggest thing here, I think, is kind of like whatever you are setting yourself up for. If you end up in a situation where you're where you're in the middle in like a 3 wide scenario, the thing I kind of would recommend there is, like, in the setup to traffic getting to you, you pick one extreme or the other, the extreme inside or the extreme outside, and then you just hold the line.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, because the thing that I'm noticing here is, to be honest, I think most people are kind of like dealing with the traffic by and large pretty well. It's tough. It's a real technical circuit.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I think with the 3 wide stuff, I think, to be honest, a lot of people have just gotten lucky, and we haven't seen a pileup of cars
yet. We see 4 cars in LMP3 all within 2 seconds of each other. So I hang out with, I think, it's right along with Jack Wilkins off of the roof of his car. As you see these gaggle of cars in front of him trying to navigate traffic.
Tanner Schiffner right now is
has gotten passed by Tyler Torville, I think, as a result of some of this multi-class traffic coming into play.
Yeah, I think that's definitely having an impact right here. And again, there is 6 points between those two.
Yeah, for the championship of GT4 Pro.
Yeah.
Look up a little ways.
Hewitt sets another fast lap of a 30. I believe that is a 0.6 or a 5.8 and change.
Yeah. Jake Wilkins. Oh, Gian Cardoso having a spin there. Oh,
no,
Jake Wilkins having to avoid good heads-up driving from Jack Wilkins. Gian Cardoso getting, and they're going to be passed by Jack. Well, they're going to go 2 wide through turn number 4. It's going to be, Jack Wilkins pairs it off. Ends up ahead as a result. Gian Cardoso has, I think, we have a snake going on of cars trying to get through. Gian's going to be looking for that move.
I think Gian's driving with a little bit of emotion right now.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. They're going 2 wide through there.
Whew.
Oh, man. Upward Worm has quoted, "What a rejoin."
Yeah, I would just again
Yeah.
take a breath.
Yep.
Take a breath. You're in fifth right now.
Yeah.
You got to fifth because of mistakes were made. It is very easy for the same thing to happen to the cars in front of you. Just center yourself. Everything that happens from here on out, it's a new race. You still have an hour left in this race.
Yes.
About. And the thing that I'm just enjoying right here is these guys are really, really digging deep
Oh, yeah.
to try and maximize their result here in the series finale.
Yeah, I love that we have 4 cars racing right now for the bottom step of the podium, essentially, right now. And then the battle for the top step of the podium is going on as Scott Fleming and Jaden Ledbetter come within half a second of each other as Jaden tries to get around Ben Aiken. Or Aiken, excuse me, not Aiken.
So for Jaden, like, he's got this thing locked up if he can just finish the race.
I mean, he has it locked up either way, assuming he just crosses the line and gets the points.
Yeah, exactly. So I think from Scott's perspective, I think it's a bit about pride, at least trying to finish on the top spot here at Indianapolis. The other thing I would say is like for Gian Cardoso right now. He's got to hold a 4-second gap on Mark Coyne, who he's chasing down, and there is a 4-point difference to the good for Mark Coyne. So
Gene has to finish another spot ahead to tie.
Correct. So
I believe,
he's got a,
or is it ahead for him? I think because of the great finish Gene had in the heat, he just has to finish ahead of him to keep the points swinging in his favor.
Yeah. So, but at the same time too, you gotta knuckle down.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotta produce. It matters. It matters now more than it ever has.
That's more math than my brain can handle right now.
Math's hard. Just generally is hard.
Yes.
Christopher Blue right now having a 7.8 second gap on Jamison Leckenby is good for him for the end of this series. He can basically just hang on to Eduardo Zamora's like coattails and probably finish ahead.
I believe so. I believe he's going to finish ahead, I think, regardless of where he finishes, much like Jaden at this point. I think what'll be interesting to see is how far Eduardo finishes ahead of Jamison and how much that gap grows. Yeah. As that is one of the ones we were looking at a little bit.
The other one that's a big one right now is I think Henry Garcia is just going to try and nail a good finish out of this. He's currently behind Christopher Blue. I think he's running in, I believe that would be probably 7th overall right now in GT4. So really not going to be making a huge challenge on Tyler Torville, but finishing with the best result possible is going to be, I think, a big point for him.
Mike Gallen is back in the pits.
Mike Gallen back in.
This feels scheduled.
I think it's
that looks
18 laps on a tank, possibly. Mark Coyne's got 16 on his tank right now, so.
It's true. You might be right on that.
I mean, more of my question is, everybody else pits on lap 18 to 20 for GT4, both Pro and Am. Mike Gallant pitted on lap 9. For them, I believe it is now lap.
I mean, it's gonna be. Go ahead.
I believe it's lap 28. So I think he still has a couple more, but we'll see.
I mean, he
27-8 in the pits.
Yeah, he has. He has to do. Less than what? 33, 34 minutes per tank to get it home now. So, because he's got this stop and probably one more coming. Because it looks like he's doing the splash out front as I believe Nathaniel Baker's doing the same because he's in the pits. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I am also looking right now, and I do see that Scott Fleming, he is putting the pressure on Jaden. It is almost 2/10.
Let me double check here. Retro Coffin.
Yeah, he passed Ethan Hamlet for P9 at the 48-minute mark. So let's go back and take a look at that.
Yep. Oh, a nice lunge from Retro Coffin as traffic gets involved. I heard a concerning noise out of Logan. What happened?
Oh no, I was watching the pass that Ethan that Retro did on Ethan. He was at one point in time 5 seconds back, and he has chipped away at that lead. So far, I think you guys are right. He did find his number.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Scott Fleming up the inside of turn number 1, sticks his nose in, keeps it in. Gonna have to cede the position back as he's gonna be on outside of 2. But Scott, I think, is hunting for that P1. At least that, I wouldn't quite say Pyrrhic, but definitely a victory of a matter of pride and proof.
Christopher Blue is back in the lead of GT4 AM.
Well, they're dueling out for it throughout.
They're battling right now.
Yeah.
Throughout corners 7 through 10. Still too wide coming out into the oval, the quick part of the oval section.
This is wild. This is wild stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of battles going on for class positions, overall position, as they go firing out onto the start-finish stretch.
I got a 3/10 delta between Ethan Hamlet and Retro Coffin right now. Retro Coffin is cooking. Retro Coffin almost was in the 23s the last lap.
Oh man, Eduardo Zamaro has the inside line. Christopher Blue looking for that late braking. They're going to run too wide through it. Oh, Eduardo hits the curb. Keeps it going, but he's going to have to cede that position. Benjamin O'Shea setting the fastest lap in class, 121.44. I think it's the fastest we've seen on track today, as the sun is setting for these drivers. How many more evening racing are we going to be doing here? This
all of them.
Jaden trying to build a little bit of a buffer to Scott Fleming. Scott Fleming not having it. Going to go up the inside with Christopher Blue. Second gap separates those two drivers now as they keep going. Retro Coffin, Ethan Hamlet within a few tenths of each other as well.
I also want to let you guys know that Tanner's on the approach.
Yeah, he's chipping away at Tyler's lead.
Yep, P2 in GT4 Pro. And the important piece on the puzzle of where they finish in this feature race, I think, is the biggest determining factor with that 6-point gap that I think is a 4-point gap like we've talked about.
That's a pretty close pretty close battles right now on track. I think this is gonna, again, I think people really need to definitely keep close to your competitor. Try and make sure that they're not getting one up on you. But
yeah,
we've still got another round of pit stops coming in, and man, we've already seen in some instances where people cycle out.
Around. Gene is around in out of 5. Coming out of 5.
Unfortunate.
He's got it going again, so we've seen these two duke it out for a little bit. Popping up to GT3s where Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin, these two dancing once more as the afternoon turns into evening here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Also want to point out that with that spin, Gian Cardoso lost position to Mark Coyne now.
Ooh, okay.
And there is a 4-point difference right now. Mark Coyne is in 5th solidly with 198 points after drops, with Gian Cardoso 6th with 194.
Gotcha.
And Vincent LaRue is also catching Gian, and Vincent LaRue is only 10 points back from Gian, which, I mean, that's actually a really large gap to cover with the small field, like 7 cars in LMP3. But the main thing that I'm just pointing out there is that the folks that are really close to one another in this championship, they are there's still a lot to play for here for them. Core Carter, fun fact, Jack Wilkins
Gian's round again.
has 3 nipples, but not where you think. Fascinating. Fascinating.
Gian, I think, is having a rough night, as it were.
Yeah. I think, I mean, F's in chat for Gian. He put on such a good showing in the heat race. And to be honest, he had a really great showing even through the first pit stop in the feature. And look, I mean, had all the makings put together to, lead this LMP3 field all the way to the end. The one thing I would say to him is, again, just kind of like get yourself hooked up. You're in 5th. There is still, plenty of racing. Things can come apart just as fast for your competitors. Keep your head on straight. And it looks like Benjamin O'Shea and that Mark Coyne, with Benjamin going up on Jax.
Yep. Benjamin O'Shea, Mark Coyne jumping in the pits.
John Newman in as well in GT4. So all the early pit runners going in.
All the people we saw earlier on diving in for their first full pit stop. And this is the time that I was expecting to see it happen. My curiosity now is, how far do they have to get into their second one to make the second stop still faster?
Scott Fleming in the lead of this race.
Ooh, interesting. Traffic between Tyler Torville, Tanner Schiffner. Take a quick look at how that developed. Coming down into turn number 7, Jaden on the inside.
Maybe it's slow
I
down.
think he just cedes the position there. He lets him go.
Yeah, I think there must have been a slowdown, because I don't see an off track for him, so he must have gotten dinged with a slowdown, perhaps.
I think so.
And Jason Tails at Core Carter, we're all about supporting our drivers. That's we call Jack the triple threat. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, more information we have about drivers on track.
Yep. We are getting facts for the folks at home from chat, all the way down to anatomical knowledge. Like, you can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than that. And only here at Track Limits Racing, you will not get more anatomically correct facts about drivers in motorsport at any other league. Guaranteed.
Phil, I'm not sure that's a guarantee I really want to stand by, just as a heads up.
Here's the thing. I hear you. All I'm gonna say is that sometimes you gotta put all your chips in. Sometimes you gotta take big risks.
Oh, 3 into 1. They all get it sorted.
See what I mean?
All significant others to come on and tell us facts about your significant other. That's racing.
That is racing.
Yep. Talking about big risks. With that.
Retro, Coffin, Ethan Hamlet still within half a second of each other. Jaden slowly chipping away at that gap between himself and Scott Fleming as well.
So after the pit cycle, Gian Cardoso finds himself back up in 4th place behind Jack Wilkin. He is starting to lap around a little bit faster than Vincent LaRue, but I think Vincent LaRue must have been held up in traffic. He clocked in at 24.4.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Last
if
lap.
that was the case.
Henry Garcia is in.
Ooh, okay.
That seems a little early.
Scheduled. 17 laps on his tank.
He did pit early for, I think, what I imagine to be damage from the impact he had with Gian early on.
Jake Hewitt is in. That's the leader, GT4.
A pass for overall position. Ben Aiken almost getting into the rear end of Nathaniel Baker there.
That was
Get
almost
it.
bad Odie.
Well, Nathaniel Baker's going to lock up the brakes runoff, which will give position back to Ben. So,
Spicy.
Tourville, Tanner Schiffner getting around Jake Hewitt because of the pit cycle. We'll see them probably pit in a lap or two's time. I think a couple more than that, but a lap or two's time.
27.3 for Henry Garcia on the jacks. Comes out 1 minute 19 for the
Jeez.
full pit lane travel time.
Jesus.
So that's going to be a tire stop.
Mm-hmm.
That it certainly is.
Jaden
Scott
Ledbetter
Fleming.
just set the fastest lap with a 21.15.
Mm-hmm. And
Getting us.
trying to
Go
get
ahead.
around Ethan Hamlet and the battle for the GT3 lead as both of them end up blocking traffic a little bit.
Jake Hewitt out after 38.7 on the jacks. So again, I think a tire stop for him. That was a long stop though.
Mm-hmm.
That was minute 29 full pit lane travel time. By the way, he is sitting on 0 off tracks.
Who is?
Wow.
Jake Hewitt, he's sitting
Yeah.
on 0 off tracks. There are 2 cars still in this race sitting on 0 off tracks. Jake Hewitt and Corey Lobner. Tyler Torville's in.
Ooh.
We got
Well,
some
with the way
GT4
Retro
Pro
Coffin is
implications.
about to almost rear end him, that was maybe going to change in terms of the number of incident points he had. Both him and Ethan Hamlet trying to go around the outside. Poor.
And there's Jake Wilkinson behind that.
Oh, man.
Jake Hewitt's just going to have to let it go.
Yep.
Very difficult to deal with 2 different freight trains running at different speeds.
Yeah.
Tyler Torville in the pits. This is the GT4 Pro implications here.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. He's on there for a while.
37.62 on the
Yeah.
jacks. So
Tires.
faster than Jake Hewitt
Okay.
by over a second. So we're going to see how things work out for him when Tanner comes in pit. Tanner pitted on lap 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I suspect he's going to be coming in when he comes around the final corner here in a minute.
I'd have to imagine
And there he is.
that he does. Dives in to pit lane there.
And what we are watching right now might be the biggest moment for the GT4 Pro Championship right now. Separated again by 6 points.
Yeah. Adam J. Duff also diving in. This time by, I'm curious to see. Tanner's in his pit box. I'm going to see how long he's on the jacks for.
Retro Coffin is in.
Ooh, Retro Coffin is in, but Ethan Hamlet stays out.
Yep.
Pulling the trigger early. Gonna try and get him with the undercut.
I have to imagine Tanner Schiffner only a 28.08. So he is already going to be out and running here. Yeah, it definitely seems like a tire. Gas only, excuse me.
No, you're fine. The guys that are taking tires are all at 37, 38 seconds, and people who are taking gas only is 28 seconds, 27 seconds.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Beats out Mike Gallant in the pit box cycle as well. Giancarlo, Vincent LaRue diving into their pit box this time by. This matches their pit cycle from earlier.
And that establishes quite a gap for Tanner Schiffner right now over Tyler Torville. That's almost 7 seconds between him and Tyler.
Jaden Ledbetterson.
Yeah, Jaden.
Giancarlo is in as well.
Yeah. Jack Wilkins diving in as well behind Jaden Ledbetter. I'm super curious if Tanner's going to need to take tires at the final stop or not, because I'm curious how long those tires can last for GT4s. I know they're pretty durable, right, but I'm curious where that limit of durability is. I don't remember him taking tires the first pit stop.
He did not.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Busy day out in the garden today.
That is all good.
Well, I mean, also this is a for the folks at home like that don't know, like doing broadcasting on this kind of stuff for multi-class racing, this much action going on.
Mm-hmm.
It tires your brain.
David
Tom
Schneider
Cogan's in, Ethan Hamilton's
flag.
Ooh. Hamlet
Probably
is in.
Yep. And he's out 22.23
Oh, we got big
seconds.
smoke. We got big smoke. We got big
Retro
It
Coffin.
is Retro Coffin.
He has been labeled as crash. Let's see what happened here. This is going to be coming out of the final corner. He gets in the gas. Oh, just too much gas on cold tires. And that, just the smallest tap into the barrier. But that is going to be lost time. That he's going to put him a solid 11 seconds behind Ethan Hamlet for that GT3 lead. And I would have to imagine it's going to be a hard one to crawl back from. Not impossible, but it's definitely going to be difficult. As those two will be...
After the pits, he climbed back at a 5-second deficit to take the lead back. So if anyone can do it, Retro Coffin can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to leverage all the magic that is locked in that hair of his. It is the back of his head is on party mode right now. So
Scott Fleming coming in from his lead of the race. Let's see where he comes out relative to Jaden Ledbetter. Comes out ahead. Looks like it's going to be about only a second or two at most. Oh, almost locks up the brakes, trying to make sure he doesn't get an unsafe pit exit. Could be interesting. Outlaps, also a little scary in these cars as well. Not as bad as the GT3s. Curious when we'll see the LMP3s get the new tire model as well.
Oh, I'm terrified.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
Soon, trademark.
Yeah. The LMP2 isn't bad.
It's going to be scary.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be all right. It makes cars go faster, so it's fun.
So Christopher Blue loses out to Eduardo Zamora in the pit cycle. Eduardo Zamora was on the jacks for 18.63 seconds.
That is a gap that is built up. You can see it there between those two drivers.
Christopher Blue was on the jack for 27.63. Now, the difference is that Eduardo Zamora stopped 9 laps before Christopher Blue.
And his
so now the question is... Go ahead.
Finish the thought, and then I'm curious about that. This pit lane travel time I'm seeing.
Yeah, so well, yeah, I mean, the pit lane travel time is about a 7-second difference
Yeah.
between the two of them. But yeah, he pitted 9 laps ahead, and we're on lap 41 for these guys, and they still have another 35 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So he's got at least one more stop that he's got to take, and he's got to work to build up a gap, because 6.5 seconds ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, no, especially given that how much I think simpler or lighter the final stop is going to be for Christopher Blue versus him. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Either way you slice the pie right now, both of them are probably looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of probably a 52, 53 second pit lane travel time if they had absolutely no time in the box. Like if it was just stop start, we're talking probably on the order of 52, 53 seconds.
Yeah.
So like if Eduardo's trying to pull a fast one with the early stop, but the thing is the early stop, why is Retro going slow?
He had a service slowdown is what my guess. And he also was trying not to hit David Schneider.
Heck yeah. Good night, Dad. Everybody, that's my dad in chat.
Good night, Phil's
Good
dad.
night, sir.
Doc Melody.
Yep.
Lovely to
Love
have
you
you as
too.
always.
Yep. The other Philip. Well, actually, Big Phil.
Big Phil. Still, very cool.
Chase the tails. Call you tomorrow.
Call your parents, folks.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
If you have a good
let's,
relationship with them and want to talk to them, call your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
let's also talk. So Christopher Blue, he's currently sitting behind Eduardo Zamora. I think the pit stops are going to recycle things around right now. Henry Garcia is actually behind Christopher Blue, so he's a pretty far. There's a pretty big gap between him and Corey Lobner right now. So Henry Garcia, I think it's going to be about maximizing his finish because he's basically locked in place. Like, I don't suspect he's going to be going up or down in the order too much.
He's got
relative to the field.
Yeah, I would say I think he's going to get around Christopher Blue here. I would have to imagine, based on the pace that he seems to be showing in a vacuum. Few tenths ahead of Christopher Blue last lap. I think it's going to pan out to be, enough to overtake him when he gets the opportunity. I think it's finding an opportunity without causing too much trouble for either of them. That's going to be the sticking point for Henry Garcia here. But I don't imagine him getting too much farther ahead than getting in front of Christopher Blue before the final pit cycle.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys shake out. And somebody we haven't talked about pretty much at all, and I definitely want to applaud the showing that he's put on, is Mr. Tommy Kogan right now in the 55, who is on cue right now to hit a third-place finish and a solid third place in the points right now because he is currently running third. And Kyle Potter, his closest competition, 6-point gap, currently running in 8th. And it looks like he's coming in for his final stop right now.
Ooh, we got David Schneider off. Looks like he was avoiding LMP3s.
So close fights on track we need to watch towards the end of this race. Mark Coyne with the early stop. So he's got the undercut on Gian. But because the lap delta difference between the two of them in terms of their cycles. Lap 37 for Mark Coyne and Benjamin O'Shea. Lap 43 for Gian Cardoso. There are a lot of cars that just went off track.
Nathan Baker.
Ooh.
That was a lot of, you go check out Kyle Potter right now and figure out what just happened.
Okay.
Cold tires.
Cold tires for Kyle Potter. But what happened with Sean Sullivan and Nathaniel Baker? They're not in this shot either. Okay, so this is a separate incident. Yep, entirely separate. Oh, Sean Sullivan goes to the inside, turns that car into a skateboard.
Yep.
And that's going to be the two of them off as Nathaniel had to avoid getting run into by Sean Sullivan.
Yep, he was gonna Dukes of Hazzard right over the curb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mark Point showing flag.
Yeah, you can see him lifting there. I think he's trying to get it bled off, but we'll see how long it takes.
That's going to pull Gian Cardoso a little bit closer.
Still
So with the
17 seconds,
Go ahead.
but less of a gap.
It's going to be interesting.
That it is. All right. Touching base on the battles we've had, we still have yet to resolve tonight, which I think is just a couple at this point. The battle between Scott Fleming, Jaden Ledbetter is entirely just an in-race, points, podium position and bragging rights for the final race of the season. Jaden Ledbetter closed off that championship battle. GT3, battle between Ethan Hamlet and Retro Coffin, still goes on. Ethan Hamlet has a bit of a buffer, a smaller one now that it was a 13-point lead. I think it's down to a 10-point lead because Retro Coffin got the first place finish in the heat race versus Ethan Hamlet's second place, which is a 3-point gap by default. So that means Retro has to finish first and Ethan has to finish 7th or worse for them to swap places.
Yeah, so Ethan Hamlet's kind of just probably just needing to lock in and just bring it home. But at the same time too, they've been racing like it all matters, and
yes,
good for them.
Absolutely. I mean, it does all matter because it's they have also, if Ethan's racing with Retro Coffin, he knows he's not 7 positions behind Retro Coffin.
Right. Yep.
So
yep.
Which is the important thing that is going to matter to Ethan there is to stay ahead of Retro Coffin regardless of where they finish.
Yeah.
Which he's doing so successfully.
Tommy Hogan got Mark Coyne off.
Yeah, we just watched that happen, and he, I think, just was trying to not run into Ethan Hamlet. So, keeps that car out of the barrier.
And that gap to Gian Cardoso is now 7 seconds.
Scott Fleming diving into pit lane for his final pit stop. Jaden Ledbetter staying out to take over the lead of the race.
Benjamin O'Shea and Jay Hewitt all with slowdowns, as well as Kerry Nolan.
Yeah. Just ones to bleed off, it looks like.
So we're going to see what Scott Fleming does in terms of pit stop. So he did not take tires last time. I don't think he took tires the first time either.
I don't think so.
It's going to be very interesting to see what he ends up going with.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what he goes with as we're watching him taking a look there. No lift on the jacks this time either. So I think he is sticking on the first set.
Mark Coyne's in for his last stop.
6 seconds on the jacks for what I'm seeing on my end for Scott Fleming. That's a rapid final stop.
Mark Coyne in, Nathaniel Baker, Mike Gallant. So with Mark Coyne coming in, Gian Cardoso now moves back into 5th. Benjamin O'Shea still has to stop, I believe. So that'll cycle Gian Cardoso ahead of him. So that'll put Gian in 4th. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out with Gian Cardoso in his last pit stop.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting
Eduardo Zamora's in.
All 3 leaders are right next to each other. Jay Hewitt, Retro Coffin. Oh, Retro Coffin's on the lead. Wow, my bad.
Almost all the leaders together. Jaden all the current people that are in P2 for most of those, and then Jake Hewitt. As
Wow, I'm off my game.
that's okay. It's
You're
been I think,
perfectly
a day.
on your
Yes.
game, as far as I'm concerned. So, Eduardo Zamora, 24.5 second pit stop.
Yeah.
Oof.
That was a long fuel stop. I think he
I'm-
might have overfilled.
I get the feeling he might have or maybe
Repairs?
underfilled earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's also true. It could be an underfill.
But I don't know why he
Basically
would
just trying to
underfill.
even out his times.
Yeah, but he took tires last time, so I don't know why he would have underfilled with tires.
Yeah.
But the battle between Tommy Kogan, Kyle Potter, I think is also reaching its conclusion unless Tommy has a late race incident here in the closing 25 minutes.
It's a sprint.
It is a sprint. Plenty of race still to happen.
The finish.
Yep.
But Tyler Torville now 4.3 seconds back from Tanner Schiffner. And again,
he's made up that ground.
Before the race started, folks, they are divided by 6 points. In GT4, Pro and AM are scored together. So if there's an incident, if either one of these cars falls too far behind other GT4 AM runners, that could have huge implications on the championship result.
Gian Cardoso diving into pit lane for his final stop of the night.
Christopher Blue with his slowdown penalty. But Gian Cardoso is going to have to maximize his pit stop. 14 seconds in the pit box for Mark Coyne, who is his closest rival right now. They are separated at the start of this race by 4 points. Gian Cardoso took the heat race victory, so that gap has closed down quite a bit. So we're going to see what happens when Gian.
Mark Coyne came home P2 or P3, excuse me.
Yeah.
From that race. Oh my gosh, 8 seconds on the jacks for Gian Cardoso, just a stop to fill her up and take her to the end. So
Mark Coyne's going to get around him.
Yeah, he is going to get around him. So if I do the math, the pencil math on the paper, 15 points to Gian Cardoso, 10 points to Mark Coyne. So if Mark Coyne finishes ahead of Gian Cardoso, that would keep Mark Coyne in 5th position. If Gian Cardoso finishes ahead of Mark Coyne, that would bump him up to 5th position.
Yeah, so this is a race right now for championship order right now. Probably, I would say, the closest one we've got.
Yeah.
Benjamin O'Shea with a slowdown. Henry Garcia's only, what is that, 2/10 back from Christopher Blue again?
Yeah, they're that's
my
almost
goodness,
a touch.
That's close. That's really close.
They managed to get it sorted without issue, but I think Henry is looking for a way around Christopher Blue.
And Christopher very much strikes me as the type that's like, you can pass me if you go faster.
He, having raced with him before, yeah, that's exactly how he is.
Nathaniel Baker trying to find his way around Christopher Blue at this point. Christopher Blue going to have to get a little bit of space on the inside there where Nathaniel Baker decided to put his car.
What a slide from Christopher Blue on corner exit. It looked like there was a little bit of mid-corner drifting happening. 28 people in chat joining us for the series finale as we are in the closing stages.
These two, the only on-track action at the moment. We have plenty to talk about in terms of championship standings and how they all pan out. As an update, because of where they are currently sitting, Gian Cardoso, Mark Coyne. If these two finish where they are, Mark Coyne will tie with Gian because he is only getting 1 point more for P6 over P7 where Gian is finishing. So they would tie at that point.
Oh, interesting.
Because
That's pretty wild.
Well, 4 points going into between that Gian Cardoso is down. Which the heat race turns that into a 1-point gain for Gian. If Mark Coyne finishes ahead by only one position, that ties them at the same point in total.
That's hilarious. So then it would probably go to race wins to determine who is going to get the
race
tiebreaker
wins,
there.
or if a drop round that becomes a different drop round. I think is the only other place where that gets weird. I don't think that counts towards drop rounds. I remember we make this pretty straightforward shootout from what I recall for these. So yeah, that is how that points gets totaled. So if Gian Cardoso can pass Mark Coyne for position at the end of the race with 20 minutes to go, he will secure P5.
Interesting. We are, I want to give everybody an update. We are 13 laps into Jaden Ledbetter's stint.
Okay.
Jaden Ledbetter and Jack Wilkins.
Gotcha.
Scott Fleming pitted on lap 52, so almost 5 laps ago. Well, at this point, more than 5 laps ago. So, an early stop for Scott Fleming. I'm kind of curious how this is going to pan out for him. John Newman's in the pits.
John Newman, Jack Wilkins. Speaking of him, also diving into pits.
So Jaden's last lap was 22.4.
Gian's finding the pace. 3:10 separate him and Mark Coyne at the moment.
Ooh.
And Mark is letting him by. All right. Now Gian just has to hold on to the spot. I wonder if there was a slowdown that didn't get registered in our system that got flagged.
That's
elsewhere.
possible. I mean, the other thing that I'm kind of curious about is, the short fill is always tricky.
Yeah.
7.7 seconds for Jack Wilkins.
Jeez.
Henry Garcia is in.
As well
John
as...
Newman was on in the pit box for 19 seconds
Oh, man.
to close it out.
This is playing.
Yeah.
All part of L plan.
Sean Sullivan, Tommy Kogan within a second of each other. Sean Sullivan's trying to figure out his way to get up the leaderboard and onto the podium for GT3. Currently fighting with Tommy Kogan for it. The gap between Ethan Hamlet, Retro Coffin sitting around 12 seconds.
Retro can't seem to really catch up. 23.79 last lap for Ethan.
Fastest lap for him.
For Retro.
Gentlemen, I am having a hard time keeping my eyes awake. It's been a busy day for me.
Certainly.
I've got to bow out. I am sorry,
You're
gentlemen.
Okay. You're all right.
All right.
Thank you for being here. We'll see you all soon.
Yep.
See you later, guys.
Yep. That was Logan, Wookie OH on Twitch TV. You can always check him out if you want to watch him race cars.
Yes,
He'll be back with us in GT4 next season, right?
Yes, he will. I believe that's the plan. Going to be back at GT4 AM. He is a driver first. He decided to hop out and hop into the booth and give us more of a driver perspective this season. So excited to see him get back in the car because I think that's where he wants to be. And I am stoked for him to be there. Jack Wilkins, Scott Fleming duking it out for position here. Scott Fleming winning out on that one after Jack Wilkins locking up the brakes into turn number 1. Ethan Hamlet trying to let these guys get through so that way he can get back to his own race. A solid 14 seconds ahead of Retro Coffin at this point.
Absolutely. Jameson Leckenby is in. Jameson, we have not talked about that much. Currently sitting second in GT4 AM and has had quite a season. Probably going to hold. Well, we didn't have William Lewis with us tonight, so he's definitely going to be a lock for that third place finish, I think.
Yeah.
He is going to finish ahead of Eduardo Zamora, but I don't think that's going to be enough of a points gain for him because there's, I believe, if I'm correct, I think it's in the neighborhood of 13 points between them.
Yeah.
With the drop rounds.
I believe so. I believe it's 13 points with the drop rounds. I think the difference between them in class, especially because they are both... Oh, man. Oh, boy. These two.
Cars vanishing.
Yep.
Easy way to get your
Your heart rate up in a flash.
Yep.
The
Do you need some cortisol?
no, I don't. I think I've got
for you.
plenty, especially watching Jack Wilkins and Scott Fleming once again duke it out for position. Let's see if we can run along with Jack Wilkins here as we get into the closing stages of this race. 15 minutes left on the clock. They're going through turns 5 and 6 down the backstretch. The part that I was talking about, I don't think they're going to have enough points separating them to swap positions. I think Jamieson closes that gap, but not enough. I think it becomes like a single-digit gap of about 5 to 6 points.
Turbo Snail in chat. Jack is such a beauty. We got some Wilkins fans in chat. Thanks for joining us for the series finale, everybody. Oh, that's close.
You can see that car squiggle as he's keeping those brakes from locking up. Really feathering and using that trail braking as they get through GT4 traffic, Eduardo Zamora, and then Ben Aiken of GT3 traffic coming up the road.
Everybody in chat for Jack Wilkins. You guys are hilarious.
Oh
yeah. Man.
I believe the name, if I remember correctly, Echelon Motorsports. A unique bunch of people by the sounds of it. And a fantastic group.
Yep.
Ooh, Tyler Torville in the pits, I believe, for his final stop? Yes. Oh, no. Jack Wilkins has been pushed out by... let's take a look at that again. They're both trying to get through traffic. Scott just looks for the opportunity, I think. Let me go through this one more time. Slow-mo it. Hop on board with Scott Fleming and dive onto that hood cam. Yeah, just straightens up the steering to try to get around him. And then I don't think realizes that Jack's there until he does that. And it's just a little too late. So.
It's back on the gearbox of Scott, though.
Yeah, I think.
Not sure if that would compromise Scott's race to Jaden. So there's 50 seconds right now between Scott and Jaden.
Yeah.
The thing I'm curious about right now, Jaden is lapping at, last lap was actually a 21.6, so he's not saving at all.
Yeah.
He's on lap 62, fixing to finish lap 63. He pitted on 44.
Okay.
So he's got 19 laps on this tank.
Okay.
So I think he's going to have to stop soon.
Yes, he is. He does have to take that splash.
Mark Coyne is staying close to Gian. It's currently within a second. But
yeah.
Tanner Schiffner in the lead of GT4 Pro right now?
I believe so.
Not sure what happened to
He hasn't come in for his final pit. Jack Hewitt already has. That's the big difference there.
Gotcha. So we are in the closing stages here. Less than 12 minutes.
Less than 12 minutes. Coming down to the final 10. Waiting on things. Still yet to be decided. Sean Sullivan, Tommy Cogan trying to get around Jake Hewitt. Speaking of him.
And there's Christopher Blue and two LMP3s in the background.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I believe that is Gian Cardoso and Mark Coyne.
That it is. And that is going to be a busy track, I think, here in just a moment's time. You can see how many dots are just piled into turn number 7 on the track map here.
We have pit stops coming in. We have Aiken going in. We have Coffin going in.
Ooh, okay.
Tanner Schiffner going in finally. Yep. Corey Lobner going in.
Okay.
So, yeah, lots of pit stops happening. Dave Schneider's on his way out, actually. So is Adam J. Duff.
Oh, man. I think Sean is trying to find a way around Tommy Cogan right now. Has the pace, doesn't have the room or the run to make it happen. Let's see if that changes here on the start-finish stretch, but they have GT3s now coming in as the drivers come into pit lane. Not drivers, but they drive past pit lane, passing Retro Coffin, who is in the box, out of the box. It's a pretty quick time, is it not?
Oh, for Retro? Absolutely. Yeah. He was in there for 12.37, so...
Ooh, okay.
Probably just enough to get him to the end.
Okay. Oh, man, Gian and Mark Coyne are duking it out amongst this battle between Sean Sullivan and Tommy Kogan. Two battles happening right now.
For Blue was on the box for less than 10 seconds.
Ooh, okay. Should put him out ahead of Eduardo Zamora, correct?
Oh, it looks like he might do it.
Just barely.
I don't know if it's going to be just barely. He's already cleared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark Coyne almost running into Gian Cardoso. Really breaking up that battle between Sean Sullivan and Tommy Kogan. Sean Sullivan taking that opportunity to go into pit lane to not lose too much more time, as well as Tommy Kogan. So we'll see both of those dive in. They hit their marks, don't get caught speeding in pit lane.
Has been a deciding factor for more than a few on track today.
Yeah. Now, if Gian can stay ahead of Mark Coyne here, we've talked about it before, but it is the deciding factor for 5th place in the championship. Mark Coyne late on the brakes.
Coyne is getting the drive-through. I don't know if he's going to the concession stand or what, but that was a wide line there.
Yep, that it was. Vincent LaRue, Ethan Hamlet and Kerry Nolan joining those coming in. Ooh, 7 seconds on the box for Tommy Kogan, 10 seconds in the box for Sean Sullivan.
Yep.
But Sean Sullivan, only a minute travel time. Oh, sorry. I was looking at Retro Coffin. Versus 57 seconds of Tommy Kogan. That gap now up to 3 seconds with a Ben Aiken in the middle.
See what Ethan Hamlet's pit box time is, as it we're gonna also see Vincent LaRue. 8.28 for Ethan and 7.5 for Vincent.
Okay.
Ian is going to pass Vincent for P5.
Yeah.
Mark Coyne is going to pass him for P6.
I'm watching this battle for 2nd and 3rd. Scott Fleming, Jack Wilkins still within a few tenths of each other. Flipping through a couple other on-track battles. The one between Mark Coyne, now also involving, oh my goodness, we go 3 right down the start-finish stretch. Kyle Potter having to bleed off a corner cut, looks like.
We have passed we are within 7 minutes to the end of this race. We are on lap. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm super curious if Jaden's going to try to stop it without the splash.
Here he goes.
Nope, never mind. He's in. Lead of the race, 50 seconds ahead of Scott Fleming. What did you have before? I was curious about that.
I suspect we're going to be looking at approximately, I'm going to call it, let's say, a 7-second gap between Fleming and Ledbetter on pit exit. So if Ledbetter comes out that far behind, he's probably going to cycle out behind Scott Fleming and Jack Wilkins. We'll see here in a second. Pull in and get the fuel stop taken care of to finish this out.
So this is where those two drivers are coming out of the final corner right now.
7.17 seconds.
Ooh.
Jaden's already at the control line right now, so he's speeding back up.
Yep. And these two are coming down the start-finish stretch. I think you were going to be right on the money at about 7 seconds ahead of these guys.
Yeah.
Two of them,
just holding on with 7-second lead on these guys. I think they come out. I think the battling between both Scott Fleming and Jack Wilkins just slowing them down just enough to keep give Jaden a cushion.
Vincent LaRue finding his way on the tail end of Mark Coyne in the closing stages of this race. See if he can get himself back up the order at least one spot. Come out a net positive from where he started this race in 7th. By maybe getting up to 6th is going to be the goal there. 0.3 separate these two drivers. There's the look. The lunge down to the inside, gets to the corner. Mark Coyne gives him plenty of room to make that happen. And he sails away with P6 in tow. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we are less than 4 minutes here as we close out the series finale. Then closest battle on track we've got is Jack and Scott.
Be Jack giving
John Newman survives. That's the only thing that matters.
It wasn't even John Newman. It was David Schneider that time.
Oh, it was David Schneider?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was the AMG that looks like.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Dave Schneider survives. No GT4 crime. So.
No witness protection program needed furthermore this race. These two, however, I think are really going at it. I'm super curious how this finally plays out. We have, I think, about 3 more laps.
So the other part too, ladies and gentlemen, about the short fill at the end of the race. Where do you finish relative to Jaden?
Ooh. Oh, he got held up by.
You do not finish within the beyond with a tank that goes beyond the bonus lap range. Might catch yourself with a problem, and that's probably more a consideration for the GT3 and GT4 folks.
Big log up from Scott is going to take that one back to a couple tenths.
His tires have to be
hurting.
Very
Jack
hurting
on the inside. Scott not wanting to give up the position. I have to imagine those tires are very shot, and that might be why he's sliding all over the place. But I have to also agree with you, depending on where you finish in relation to where Jaden is coming across the line for his final couple laps will dictate how many more laps you have. And if you have the fuel to go the bonus lap, how does that play into it?
Yeah, because the folks that are probably the most, like I would say probably, I'm going to keep an eye on, it's going to be Tommy Kogan. He was on the jack for less than 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Ethan was on the jack for 8 seconds. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Ethan might pull the 1 liter mistake like Retro did last week at Barber.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting here. We've got a lot of people that did the short fill. 6.82 seconds for Scott Fleming on the short fill.
And this is gonna be the final lap for these drivers, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
With a minute to go there. Oh, Jack is trying to find the way around Scott Fleming at this point.
Yep. Margins cannot be closer between these two.
No.
Ben Aiken is
in pit lane. Finally.
Interesting.
Final lap for his final splash and dash. He tried to make the 2-stop work. Could not get it done.
In a stunning turn of events, the fuel calculations from a car from Volkswagen Auto Group turned out to be scandalous. But anyway.
That's never happened before.
That's never happened before.
Never.
We're following these guys. Jaden is getting close.
Oh, man. As is Jack trying to find that opportunity there.
Yeah. Coming out the final corner right now.
Yeah.
There he is. Manages to squeak one in. One more in.
Yeah. He's heading the fastest lap as he does so. Scott Fleming's going to hold on to the second podium spot ahead of Jack Wilkins, who does come home a fantastic P3. Ethan Hamlet, 16 seconds ahead of Retro Coffin and Tommy Cogan.
Retro Coffin is finished, and Ethan Hamlet still has to finish a lap.
So Ethan Hamlet
Same
will
is
finish
also
ahead.
Same is also true for Christopher Blue.
Oh, man. Tommy Cogan gonna hold on to the P3 podium spot ahead of Sean Sullivan. Jake Hewitt gonna take home the GT4 Pro lead ahead of Tanner Schiffner and Tyler Torville. That one decided entirely in the pit lane in those final two stops. That gave Tyler just such a big gap over from Tyler Torville. Christopher Blue, like you said, still finishing his lap. The rest of GT4 AM having finished theirs. Eduardo Zamora a lap behind, but only a couple spots behind.
Ethan's going to be coming across right about now.
There is Ethan Hamlet.
Takes the checkers and he brings it home.
Ben
Finish out
is
the
gonna,
last race. Go ahead.
that he is. He's going to come home just ahead of Kerry Nolan by 4/10. We're still waiting on, I believe, one Christopher Blue to come across the line. He has done so, which will give us the end of our 1 hour and 40-minute race here. Finale for Track Limits Racing 2025, season number 2.
Yep.
Let's go through these results and their impacts on the season. Kicking it off with LMP3. Gian Cardoso is not the winner. I know. That's the heat. We're getting there. Hold on. There we go. Jane Ledbetter is the winner of the feature. Comes home 7 seconds ahead of Scott Fleming, who had a close battle with Jack Wilkins over the last few laps to keep that second podium position. Benjamin O'Shea and Gian Cardoso are running out the top 5. Gian Cardoso finishes 2 spots ahead of Mark Coyne, which I believe gives him the 5th position overall as well in the championship. Vincent LaRue, Mark Coyne, and Nathaniel Baker round out the 8 drivers there.
Yeah. And I think with the gap between Vincent LaRue and Jack Wilkins finishing 3rd, I think it'll be okay. Like, I think he's still going to finish out. I think Vincent LaRue is still going to finish ahead of Vincent LaRue because there was I think a 17-point gap.
I believe so.
Between them. But yeah.
Yes. Though I think that gap closes down much like the gap we talked about between Christopher Blue and Eduardo Zamora in that closing stage of the race.
Yep. We should take a look at the GT3 field.
Yes.
'Cause, man, that was spicy up until that last stint. Man, that was like really close. So yeah.
Well, take us through.
Well, I mean, so Ethan Hamlet, he did have a 13-point gap on Retro Coffin. So Retro, like, finishing ahead in the heat race was a bit of a big deal. But at the same time, too, Ethan had the 13-point gap going in. The other thing to consider, oh, this is so cool. The guys are just pulling up, blocking up here at the end. That's awesome. That's really cool that the guys did that. That's really cool stuff. Yeah, I'm just speechless, man. This has been such a good season. I mean, all the seasons with Track Limits have been really good to watch. And watching this community evolve has been kind of like a big deal in terms of, just kind of how cool everybody's been and how we've had a lot of repeat people.
I think they were pushing Vincent because he ran out of fuel. I saw Mark Coyne pushing Vincent, and now I'm understanding why that was happening.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Jaden's trying to get himself to the front.
Just everybody now just doing like really cool stuff. Jaden is just being a hooligan back there. Is anybody shocked that Black Flag Ledbetter is just murdering people here at the end? But anyway, the thing is that just I don't know what to say. This is just such a good community.
So cool.
Let's talk
points though for GT3. So Ethan
Yeah.
Hamlet has got it on lock. Retro Coffin gave Ethan one heck of a season. Like I think Retro gave Ethan probably the biggest challenge that he's had so far in track limits. Tommy Colgan coming third. Kyle Potter was did not have a very good race. That's unfortunate. Incidents early on in the heat race, and then everything got even weirder in the feature. But yeah. So I think Tommy's going to hang on to third. I think that's a lock. I think the only other person that I'm really kind of interested in seeing their finishing points total is probably we're going to have to shift over to GT4 Pro for that one.
Yeah, I agree with that. The ones I'm curious, I think there as well are also in GT4 Pro as they burn it down, the whole group. Move on to GT4 Pro and where they finished tonight. Jake Hewitt leading home that. Tanner Schiffner finishing ahead of Tyler Torville and Mike Gallant. Corey Lobner, Henry Garcia rounding out that 6-car grid. I think you want to talk about probably that Tyler Torville, Tanner Schiffner battle overall.
I mean, Tanner's going to hang on to it.
Yeah.
There was a 6-point delta, and I think their finishing order in the heat race. If you could actually flip back to that, because I just kind of want to see what it was. Tanner finishing. I mean, same order. So I think Tanner's going to be a lock for GT4 Pro. Henry Garcia, he was kind of on an island, sitting with 217 after the drop rounds, and we didn't have Lee Wu or Nathaniel Redmond really able to make a challenge. And I think pretty much for the rest of the order, I think the only one who's going to get passed up is going to be Matt Pyle. He's going to lose a spot to Mike Gallant.
Yeah.
And then between Corey Lobner and Jake Hewitt, Jake Hewitt's just on another level right now in terms of pace. So
I'm super curious if Jake Hewitt's going to leapfrog Mike Gallant and Matt Pyle with his points finish.
I mean, that'd be interesting. I think that gap's a little far because we're talking, what is that, 24 points between Hewitt and Gallant?
Yeah.
And Gallant's going to get some points out of this. So
that's true.
I think that's going to be a bridge too far.
Okay. They might.
Yeah. Jaden's like, glad we could keep the surprise under wraps till the end. Yep. That was a good photo finish there, guys. Why don't you tell us about how GT4AM wound up?
GT4AM. I can tell you how it wrapped up. Thank you, Jaden. The Christopher Blue leads home. Eduardo Zamora, Jameson Leckenby, which I think he had a bit of a rough race, especially at the start, and never had a good chance to recovery. Are your 3 podium finishers. John Newman and David Schneider are your 5 finishers in GT4AM. What's super exciting to me is that all 5 of them finished. It's super cool to see. 4 of them on the lead lap with the winner. I would say the lead lap with the winner, even though he was technically a lap ahead. I tried. I miscalculated. Darn.
Yep.
It was a valiant attempt, Ben.
Yeah.
I think another one where I think it's going to be interesting to see with how well Jameson finished in the heat race, which if we look at that number, I believe he finished first in class. He also finished pretty far up the order, if I remember correctly. I wonder how much that gap closes because of the heat finish versus the feature, and if that stays around the same points split that they have now, or if they get closer. But I don't think anything's unfortunately going to change.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a lock for Christopher Blue, Eduardo Zamora, Jameson Leckenby. I think John Newman might be leapfrogging William Lewis in the points. I mean, there's an 18-point gap between them for 4th and 5th.
and William Lewis couldn't make it today. I also am kind of curious to see where Dave Schneider finishes because Mark Roberson hasn't been with us for a bit. But Todd Torville is only 16 points ahead, so I'm kind of curious if he can. Yeah, but it's going to be an interesting finish altogether. I'm really glad. Oh yeah,
that
retro
final corner. Yeah. I there's something about that final corner. I don't know what it is, but every car I've driven there at least once, either in a practice or in a race, it flat spins. I think the only car I haven't had it happen in is the LMP2. I've had it happen in GT3s, both the Porsche as well as some other mid-engine and front-engine ones. Not specific to them. And then in GTPs, which I feel like should have no problem with that, but apparently that's still too much power and on cold tires. And that was the old tire model of the last year's 6 hour. It just flat spins, and you're just like, why? What happened? What did I do wrong that causes it to break traction? And I don't know. Maybe it was something with the model too, but it sucks. I'm sorry that it happened when it counted. Any update on next season? We gave a little bit at the start of the broadcast. I'll summarize what we talked with Jaden about here at the end. We're still working on the tracks for the schedule as well as when the schedule actually kicks off. But I think we've got it pretty narrowed down to a grouping of tracks that we're deciding on. We need to give our input still, which I have. Again, we have one serious and one funny answer for that, and I think he'll probably take the serious one over the funny one, which I'm excited about. Both of them, regardless.
I would be sad about the funny one.
I'm going to be sad about the funny one, too, because I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I think it'd be a lot of fun for us in the booth. And it might be a good fun race. I don't think it's a very serious race, so...
I mean, this is serious business. I mean, this is big deal. This is track limits. This is the sports car series. This is all to play for here.
Yeah.
So, but the hint on the silly one for the folks at home that might like I'll just say it's like it can be bumpy. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I feel like this was a really good closeout to the season.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was a fantastic finale. I think we've always had pretty solid ones. I think this is no exception. I think it's a track that was a little bit more kind to multi-class racing than last year's Mid-Ohio. Not that Mid-Ohio isn't decent enough for it, but I think this one had a little more room. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? Well, there are some tracks that are really less bumping.
I mean, I'll give you another hit, Nathan. IndyCar doesn't race there anymore. Races in the same city, but doesn't race there anymore. Anyway, so one thing I did want to say before we get ready to send off and do a raid for somebody.
Yeah.
Good job, Finn. You ran the stream pretty much almost the entire season, with I think the exception of one. The like handling the points, running the season on the stream, leading the broadcast and stuff like that. Phenomenal job, man. I could not be more happier with how things turned out. So, good job, sir.
Well, thank you. And a wonderful job to you as well, as always. Like, again, I always appreciate the way you view analytics and the numbers you give, and you're like this, that, and the other, and going, yeah, it'll be about 7 seconds, and then you're always bang on the money. Like, it takes a lot for you to not be bang on the money. So it is always wonderful to share a booth with you, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do it next season when we come back for season 3 of Track Limits Racing Sports Car Series.
Yep. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a hype train, too. Jaden's blasting out some... Aiken, you might be onto something there. But then again, too, that's a silly
well, I would
guess.
say
but anyway.
the one actually I was thinking for the silly one was a little bit different, and involves a couple of tracks. But again, we'll pitch all of them, and then we'll get told the one that we actually thought would be a good one is the one we want. So
yeah. So we just earned our subscription badge. That's cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well,
Really, really awesome stuff, guys. Thank you all. Thanks to all the drivers and everybody who watched at home and everybody who hung out with us in the Discord. It's been a good season. Yeah, for real.
absolutely. And I think it's a good time I need to plug one last time for the season. If you want to be part of this action, part of this cool, fantastic community full of people that, show up to race once every Saturday, every few Saturdays, and then back-to-back Saturdays for 2 weeks at a time. Check us out on Discord. It's the best way to get into it, and join us here.
Yeah,
where
be
we
part of
will
the show.
Yeah. We have the LMP3 AM Championship coming out next season as well. So if you're a little bit more daunted by the idea of driving a dishwasher with wheels, there is a championship all specifically for people who drive them badly. I think that's where I would go if I was going to go back into the booth or back into a car. But I'm having too much fun yelling words into a room that also happens to have a microphone and some PC equipment that make it sound like I'm not just talking to myself and going crazy.
I mean, it's been a blast. I think next season's going to be a banger. I think if you want to be a part of the action, check out Discord. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm hyped.
Likewise. I think it's going to be great. Soon TM is unfortunately the best I got for you in terms of the timeline, but I'm sure if you're on in the Discord, Jaden will keep you up to date whether or not you want it.
Yep.
But no, he will certainly keep you up to date for all things when, scheduling, registration, all that jazz will be happening soon. And he'll let you know when it does, and then you can join in. We talked about a little bit more GT3s as well next season. I think we're expanding that roster, so we'll have a couple more there. So we get to watch, we add 3 more Porsches and 2 more Mustangs on top of the current 2 Mustangs, 2 Porsches, and one of a few others.
Where's the McLaren representation? Let's get some Maccas in there. Let's get some Maccas in there. I'd also like to see some support for more M4 stuff, like Austin, like he's holding it down. Let's get some support in there. Why not all Porsche? Well, because there's an actual category for that retro. It's called the Porsche Cup. We're not doing that here.
It's called the Porsche Cup car.
We
already have enough
issues.
And
GT4. Yep.
Yeah.
New Aston and Mustang GT4. That's going to be interesting as well.
Used to drive it. It's too sketchy in certain situations. You say that and you swap to the Audi, Ben. I don't believe you.
Yep.
I just don't.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like basically he says McLaren too sketchy.
Everybody's
like,
meme.
you're the Audi
Okay,
driver. Instant loss in credibility. It's like
no.
instant loss.
Okay, I'm following. Inflection gets lost in text, so forgive me for taking it seriously.
I take everything seriously. This is serious business. This is a sports car series.
Yeah.
Super serious. You will never see me goof off or make jokes. It's not in my nature. Like I don't do that. Should we find somebody to go raid?
I think we should. We should find somebody to go raid, wrap up the season, and get ready for the next season. I think the thing I want to do for next season, I'm not sure how I need to do it, and I think it's going to require more work on my end, which of course is, the usual for me. I'd love to start showcasing the manufacturer points on stream. I don't know how to do that though. I need to figure that one out.
Well, we can try and figure it out. We'll get it together.
It should be pretty easy.
Yeah. Let's go find somebody. I found somebody doing some MX racing at Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta.
Ooh.
MX5s at Road Atlanta. Anybody?
Rad.
Auburn Kyle is the name. Go say hello from Track Limits Racing, and you want to give us the send off, and I'll punch the raid button.
Certainly will. I've been Fettuccini alongside Phil for the 2025 Season 2 Track Limits Racing Sports Car Series. We will see you all in the very near future. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you in a Saturday sooner than I'm probably going to be expecting it, but not soon enough. Have a good night, everyone, and a happy Labor Day weekend.
Take care. We're clear.